Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chase for the Record. This is the Mike Tyson's Punch Out edition. I'm Sinister One, and I am joined by fellow Mike Tyson's Punch Out expert, MPAP. MPAP, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you doing tonight, Sinister? Or today,
Although
Sinister?
I guess it's not night for you because you're in Australia, yeah?
Yes, that's correct. It's just
So
early morning.
early morning. All right. Well, thank you for getting up bright and early and joining us for this. I know you've been doing some score runs of this game lately, so something a little different, but you're quite the expert in the single segment category as well, yeah?
Yes, that's correct.
What's
Been
your
doing a lot.
current time?
15:58.
Very nice. So for those of you out there watching, there's not many people that have sub 16-minute times. The world record, as you can see, is displayed there. That's by Summoning Salt, who's one of our players this evening, and a few of our other players who are also, of course, in the sub 16 club, along with MPAP here. So why don't we introduce our players? Summoning Salt, he needs no introduction. He is, of course, the world record holder, but he's still looking to push the time even lower. And he has put out quite a few videos. You may know him for his world record progression videos that are always excellent. So yeah, he's a top player. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Zallard One, if you would, MPAP?
So Zaldwan's he's around this game for quite a while. He's had a bit of a break, but he's come back strong. He's a very good player, very good player on all the fights in the game, including Tyson. He's got definitely the skill to take the record today.
Absolutely. I agree with you. All these players have the skill to take the record. This game has quite a bit of randomness to it, which is why part of the reason why the record's so low, but the execution of these guys is all top tier. So Weejawee, our final player, also another sub-16 player, he's been playing the game for quite a while, and he's held the record on Mike Tyson in the individual fight. I believe he's also held the another world circuit record, if I'm not mistaken, at times. He and Salt have competed, yeah?
Yeah, I think that's correct. Salt currently holds the record for another world circuit, but Weejawee did hold it for some point.
Okay. All right, so what we're going to do tonight is we are going to start off with a race. These gentlemen are going to do a race, and it's actually going to not be a real-time race, so this is going to be a little different from what you guys are used to. We actually use game time in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out because the way the clock works is very, very strange. But the reason we don't use real time is because the boxers can get up on various counts. So, like, you know, what if one boxer gets up on a 2 count, the other guy gets up on a 9 count? It's all random. So we go with the game time, and there's also some various things in the game that can take a little longer. So these guys looks like they're getting ready to go here. They're getting the Glass Joe screen. They're all going to start from there. They don't have to be like totally 100% synced up for the start, because as I mentioned, it is going to be using the game time, which you'll see in between each fight. You'll see the game time. So what do you think the game time is going to be for Glass Joe, MPAP? Any wild guesses?
I predict everyone will get a 42.00 unless something goes horribly wrong.
You know, it actually says that right on our screen there. So if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the total time for each of our competitors here, and it's already marked at 42 seconds flat because these guys are doing what's known as a buffer strat, which will ensure that no matter what happens, they will knock Glass Joe down at exactly 42 seconds flat. Looks like they've all done so successfully, so then we will move on, and as each fight progresses, the times will be added, and you'll see what their pace is versus the world record, and also versus their own individual PB. So this is actually a first on speed gaming. Usually we just show an individual timer, but this time we're actually going to show you exactly where everybody is, so it's kind of exciting. Something a little different.
So up next is Von Kaiser. I think everyone's gonna do a nice buffer strat, which it looks like Von Kaiser has almost no guard, but it's a lot of just specific guard manipulation, and he just takes 8 punches, and then you can knock him down with a star punch really easily.
And the stars in this game you obtain generally by hitting a boxer when not after dodging and countering, but typically interrupting one of their punches or catching them off guard. As you can see, most of the fighters are getting them. Some of the stars are random, as is the case with Von Kaiser, and it looks like Zallard is the only one that got a 36 there. Salt and Weijui got 37s. So that's going to put them just a little touch behind for right now. But Piston Han is a little different though, right, MPAP, in terms of the stars he gives?
Yeah, every single star he gives is guaranteed. So we're going to see a lot of stars and star punches in this fight.
You gotta love that. You gotta love it when you know that you're getting the star. You don't have to worry about the randomness. You don't have to think, oh man, am I gonna get it? Am I not? It's a lock. So let's see what these guys are all doing the same opening here, it looks like so far. Because this is a race, they're not doing the risky strat. You'll see a riskier strat later, which is when you're going for world record. Or did they actually? Looks like
they all did the risky strat, the newest strat. Every single one did it.
Never mind. They're going straight. They're not even worried about winning the race. They're just like, let's just start the record attempts right now. So 8 count, unfortunately, there for Weijui means he is going to get the bad refill, as is Salt.
Yes,
both of them getting.
I think everyone got the bad refill.
However,
they ended up with a 49. So
I think he struggled a little in phase 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, 45 there. Very nice for Weijui. He looks to be in the lead there. As you can see, his total time at the bottom right there is at 2:04. So he's just barely ahead of his competitors there. As they're all entering their times into a spreadsheet, which actually calculates all this stuff and feeds it back out. It's pretty cool.
So up to our first training cutscene. It's not much happening. The game just gives you a passcode so you can continue for later. But we won't be using that passcode. We're going straight on to Don 1.
Yeah, these guys don't need any passcodes. Well, how do you get past Don 1 though? What's the secret here?
So the secret with Don 1 is there's a frame perfect star, which means you have 1/60th of a second to time this punch. But a few years ago, Zallard 1 found a very nice buffer strat, which pretty much makes the frame perfect star guaranteed every single time. This fight used to be a huge reset point because it's a pretty tough punch to hit manually with no buffer. You just have to wait like a really odd amount of frames and then hit a punch, but with the buffer it's guaranteed. Then after you knock him down with a star punch, Don 1 gets up with barely any health and you can knock him right back down for a KO.
And they have all successfully done that. And as you can see, we're already getting to find out that why we don't use real time for this game. Zallard, despite having the worst in-game times, is ahead of everyone because he's gotten very favorable counts from the boxers that he's fought. So even though those mistakes he had earlier on, but using the in-game time, we can see that Weijui is the true leader of the pack right now. But now we're on King Hippo, the most random fight. The only time you can punch him is when he opens his mouth, and you have to hit him really, really quickly in order to get 9 punches into the gut. Zallard did a great job there. He got a 45, which is a tremendous time. Weijui looks like he's not too far behind with a 57. And let's see how Salt does. Uh-oh, Salt's getting the bad luck. He is still going to get just around a minute, though, so really probably the biggest random factor in this. And as we get into the record attempts after we do the race, you guys are going to see a lot of resets on King. So not this time, though. We are going to show you the whole game to kick things off. So yeah, Great Tiger is up next. And MPAP, what do you think we're going to see here?
I think everyone's going to use the same strat. You just force Great Tiger to jab, and then you can counter late in the gut for a star, a guaranteed star. Every single star is guaranteed, and then you just get stars, use stars. The final star of the phase is timed quite specifically. You want to hit it into his gem flash, which does maximum damage and saves about 8 seconds compared to just buffering it and then hitting him in the face again.
Yeah, a lot of nice intricacies in this game. Like just timing a star punch slightly differently can sometimes deal more damage. Just little things they programmed in there, which are pretty tricky. So everybody getting a perfect fight there with a 48. Again, if the boxer gets up on a 1 count, then you can use a star punch and immediately take him down. So we're on to Bald Bull, and Bald Bull is going to give you some guaranteed stars in the first phase of the fight, so you can get a 17-second knockdown every time. But once we move into phase 2, that's not exactly the case, is it, MPAP?
No, in phase 2, we're gonna everyone's gonna open with 2 punches, and one of those punches can give a random star. So if they don't get that random star, they'll change their strat up. It's a bit slower, but there's nothing you can really do about it. You just gotta do the best you can with the luck you get.
And Zallard did not get the lucky star there, so he gets a 48-second phase. This is going to give some of his opponents a chance to catch up, possibly. He does have 3 stars going into phase 3, which is good. He can probably get a 106 or potentially less, depending on refill and pattern here. Gets a bad refill. And yeah, his pattern was a little bit slow, I think, there. So 108. Not bad.
It's not bad. Ouijui gets a good refill.
Ouijui did get the good refill, so let's see if he gets rolling jabs here. He doesn't, but he's still going to get a nice time there. 107, catching up a little bit of time. And finally, we have Salt.
Who got the bad refill.
Also got the bad refill, but he got, I
107.
think he got a good phase 2, so he's also a 107. So after 2 circuits, we can see that Zallard is at 505, Ouijui at 512, and Summoning Salt, it looks like, is going to be at about a 518-ish. Yes. So essentially, so far, what we've seen is that the execution has been pretty on point by all our players, but Zallard is maintaining that lead merely because he had the best King Hippo luck, and he did execute perfectly. It's not free. But now we're moving into the World Circuit. This is where things get really hard. Maybe you can explain a little bit about this Honda 2 fight. It's a tricky one.
So this Honda 2 fight, there's a really easy way to get a KO. It gives you a time of 1:00.99, but everyone's going to be doing a much faster in-game time strat, which attempts to get Honda in the 40-second range. It involves a very tight phase 1, lots of guard minute, lots of stars, and then in phase 2 you have to hit these max damage stars, which are, I mean, you can use a pseudo buffer for it, but it's nowhere near free. It's very hard to pull off.
I believe it's about a 4-frame window, and Zallard has been playing perfectly so far. He's got to land one more of those buffered stars here to get a 45, and he nails it. Great job there. Ouijui had to go for the backup, which thankfully does exist, and Summoning Salt looks like he maybe got
I think he messed up a little bit up. He's got 3 stars.
Yeah, he must have messed up a little bit in phase 1. So Zallard maintaining that lead, but now we're to one of our other big random boxers, which is Soda Popinski. He could really turn the tide of this race, depending on what happens. So he can always open with a hook, but then is he going to throw an uppercut? He does. So Zallard is able to tag him, countering his uppercut, which allows you to do an instant knockdown via Star Punch. So an 18-second phase on Soda is very, very good. Let's see if he can get some more of those. Remember, this fight is pretty much luck-based here.
Oh, Ouijui getting 2 bad hook patterns, 3 bad hook patterns.
Zallard got 1 hook. It looks like some hooks for Summoning Salt because he got a 25 phase 1. So Zallard not getting the greatest luck in phase 2, but still maintaining his lead. And final phase for Zallard is going to be an uppercut, so he's going to get a 108, which should be good enough to keep him in the lead for now.
And Ouijui just finishing up phase 2 with a 127. He's had many hook patterns, many unwanted hook patterns.
Soda is not being friendly. A 59 for Summoning Salt off of a 25 phase 1. That's pretty crazy. To get submitted off of a 25. As we see Zallard move on to Bull 2. So Bull 2 is a pretty much strictly execution-based fight. There's a few random elements to it. But Zallard, perfect execution in phase 1 here, so he's going to get a 38 knockdown. The stars are guaranteed on Bull 2. There is a strategy that I don't think these guys will be using. Well, maybe Ouijui's going to go for it, where you can do what's called a misdirection gutter, where you try to manipulate Bull 2's guard and allow you to get a punch through for a star that you shouldn't really be able to get through. So far, Zallard looking good. looks like he's going to have a good phase 2.
Getting the 106 knockdown, 106 phase 2.
Salt having a little bit of bad luck there. Bull did not retaliate immediately, and that means that he's going to lose 2 seconds of game time. Unfortunately, you can see there with the 107. Though Salt does a little bit of a faster strat, though, and he cuts his dodges really tight, so every frame counts in this game. I guess we should just briefly go over the game times that you can end with are 0.00, 0.25, 0.48, 0.61, 0.82, 0.97, and 0.99, and that's going to be determined by, you know, how many frames it was past the second mark. So we see Zallard getting the 0.00 off that 130 there. 129 for Summoning Salt, and the Ouija still struggling a little bit. But it's not over yet. There's always Mike Tyson at the end, right? He can change everything.
He can change everything easily. One person goes to round 2, that's over almost a minute. A minute lost by going to round 2.
And let's not forget Don, too. He can change some things as well. And Zallard getting blocked there, but he had a good backup strat, it looks like. Let's see if Summoning Salt can get some random stars here. It's a 1 in 16 chance. And
yeah, Salt's already got one random.
He did get a random. So he got 3
Salt with 3 stars into phase 2. If he gets an
my goodness. So Salt, even though he's behind Zallard by 7 seconds, but I think that's about to change. When you have this many stars, and he knows exactly what to do with them here, so he's just going to unload on Don, and 118, so he's going to gain a bit of time. This is going to become very tight now, as we see Zallard using the quasi-infinite left-left-right, and then finishing with a star punch. No, he doesn't have a star. So Salt actually going to take the lead with 133. My goodness.
That's a very fast Don time. You cannot get that time every time. That's pretty insane.
Absolutely not. So if you do already have a star against Don 2, then that's the opportunity you have to get another star. Some of his stars are fixed, but some of them are not. So once again, for those of you that are just joining us, we're actually timing this race by game time, not by real time. So even though it looks like they're dead tied, Summoning Salt is in the lead. As you look at your bottom right there, you can see he's got a 10-11, and Zallard so far with a 10-30, and Ouija with a 11-47.
So opening the Sandman fight, you want to raise his guard and hit these gut punches. It's kind of hard to hit because you have to raise his guard, and then when you see him start to roll his fists, you have to perform a dodge very quickly. If you're not watching, he can easily hit you, and that can throw off the rest of the fight if your health is not in the correct place.
Yeah, both executing well though. 117 for both, and Zallard taking that real-time lead there because he got a 5 count instead of an 8 count. That's why we don't use real-time, boys and girls. Zallard is ahead in this race despite being behind in game time by almost 20 seconds.
Also, it should be noted, everyone pressed a select before the fight to bring their health down to half. That's because everyone wants to take an intentional knockdown in the final phase to force Sandman to do his triple uppercuts again, which is the fastest in-game time way to knock him down.
Indeed. It is actually faster in real time to not take the knockdown, but again, we're not doing that. So Midget Sandman action happening there from Summoning Salt, doing a little glitch there. That works out sometimes depending on your knockdown time against Sandman, because you actually can't get him to do the triple uppercuts again until 1 minute and 59 seconds. So you have to be careful for when you get knocked down. So we see a 225 from Zallard, 226 from Salt. Zallard gaining that little bit of time there. It's probably going to come down to Tyson. There can be some swings on Macho, right?
Yeah, there can be. Macho typically ranges between 55 seconds and about a minute, 5 seconds, just depending on how well phase 1 goes and how many lucky stars you get.
Yeah, so we're going to see Zallard get the first crack at it. They're going to be trying to get a kind of I don't want to say it's a random star, but it's random which action Macho will take. So guaranteed star on that 4th punch there for Zallard, and then he's going to try this punch right here. Macho didn't go for it. Salt's turn. If Salt gets this lucky star, he did not either. So they're both kind of in the same boat here. And it looks like actually, Salt did get the more favorable pattern
Yeah,
out of that.
33 with 2 is pretty good. You can definitely get a sub-minute time with that.
Yes, he did not get the God pattern, but again, keep in mind the biggest swings can happen on Mike Tyson himself. Both players trying to land this star punch called the spin sucker after Macho goes for his spin punches there, and Salt was successful with that. Zallard did not get it, so he's falling behind, and Salt looks poised to get about a 58, I want to say.
Yes.
Maybe a 59. It's going to be close. Oh, high 58, I think. Zallard finishing up at 113. And Weijui looks like he's going to get a decent time here. Oh, he missed the gutter.
That was the end of phase 2 for Weijui.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
So the struggles continue. He's just warming up, man. He's just warming up here. That's all that is, guys. So we can see Zallard with the 1409 trailing Salt. So Zallard is going to need a really, really excellent time, and he's going to need Salt to kind of have a not so great time. Of course, we all know that summoning Salt is probably the most consistent at fighting Mike Tyson out of everyone on the planet, I would say.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Salt is just getting all the frame perfect hits right now. Zallard is as well. But Zallard needs Salt to make a mistake or get the 8-second delay just as he did there.
And yeah, it looks like Salt with a 104. That means that he is absolutely going to get a round 1 Tyson unless something catastrophic happens. Zallard with the 106. Gonna be tough to gain time off of that. He needed something a little better. But to note, in this fight, most of the punches are frame perfect. The counter punches, they deal extra damage, and you can see Salt is hitting them like it's nothing. And he is having a very solid phase 2, almost perfect there. 147. Zallard having a great phase 2 as well.
Yeah,
these guys having like identical fights right now.
Weijui with a 103 phase 1.
Nice. Ooh, a block there. A couple more blocks, and Zallard might be able to come back. But no more blocks. Looks like Summoning Salt is going to close this thing out with a 236. How about that? No problem. Zallard not far behind at all with a 237.
237, yeah.
And we see that Weijui is also going to finish. So Zallard, you can see how close he was in real time, but again, we're timing this in game time. So Summoning Salt, the winner in both game time and real time in this particular instance. And
yeah,
Weijui, hopefully he can finish up here. This is going to be tight. He's going for the frame perfect hits. Oh, that block. All right, looks like he got him. So very well done. All players finishing every fight in round 1, which is very, very difficult to do. GG for all these guys. Weijui having some struggles there, but some very good times there. 16-12 and 16-46 on no reset runs. Really excellent stuff. And what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of switch some things up. So if you're just joining us, this is Chase for the Record featuring Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. We have 3 of the best players in the world, and they are going to be doing some world record attempts now that we've had our race and had our fun with that. So we're going to be seeing some resets now, aren't we?
Yes, that's right. We'll probably most likely see some resets, just simply because of too much bad luck happening, which is not fun at all, but it's the way the record attempts for this game go these days.
Yeah, that's one thing about this game is there is quite a heavy dose of luck, and we're gonna go over that because once we get into the actual record attempts, then you're gonna kind of see how much luck is involved with these guys that they want to reset, do they want to keep their run going, and I think with all of them doing the difficult strategy on Piston Honda 1. That could be a reset point for these guys.
That can definitely be a major reset point. But it's relatively consistent, but it's not as consistent as the old strat. the trade-off is you always get about the slowest time you'll get is about a 46 if you pull everything off right, which is a gain on the world record by about 3 seconds.
So Zallard not happy with his performance against Mike Tyson. He looks like he's maybe going to just do a little quick practice on him, possibly.
Yeah, Tyson probably warrants the most practice in any fight in this game. If you're even one frame off with your punches, that can drastically change your final time.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot that can go on in that fight, and you're gonna see same old for Glass Joe. Nothing really different here. So these guys are going to get 42s every time, no problem. So Von Kaiser, I don't think it's really going to be a point where these guys want to reset. They're not going to be worried about 36 or 37, right?
No, there's usually you wouldn't worry about something like that. It's very minor.
Yeah, I agree. You really got to pick your moments to reset in this game. Generally, it's going to kind of be like, okay, what's my King Hippo time? And
yeah,
ideally these guys are going to be getting sub 50 King Hippos. That's the not quite the best you can get. You can get a 37 would be the best possible luck, but that's, I believe, about 5% likely to happen.
Yeah.
So nice fight so far for Weijui and Summoning Salt. We can see they both did get the lucky star that's 50% likely. That means they can both get 36s. So that'll put them on the pace that they want to be on for this early portion. And Zallard still just getting his Tyson practice on. I don't blame him, man.
Yeah, when you get on a good run, choking on Tyson is probably one of the hardest things that can happen. Even though you put the most practice into him, it's still the hardest fight, no matter what.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
You want to be 100% prepared for him.
So it looks like we might be having a little bit of issue with our splits timer here. So I can see that Salt has entered his. Maybe it's probably just going to show up a little later. Maybe I can see that Salt has entered his. No, it's not showing up correctly. I'm gonna.
Is it best world record even? Maybe is tied.
You are absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Good call on that one. I was thinking it would. Yeah, I was thinking it would display differently, but it didn't. So yeah, for those of you that are just joining us, again, we're timing these runs in game time, not in real time. So as soon as you see this fight end, you're going to see a blue screen on Weijui's side there. You're going to see a 44.61, and on Salt screen a 46.00. So that's the actual time that we're using to time these runs. And you can see down in the right-hand corner that both Salt and Weijui are on very nice paces against their PBs and against the world record. Ahead of everything. So these guys are going into the major circuit with that. However, as we mentioned before, King Hippo can derail that quite easily. But I think overall you've got to be pretty happy coming in the world circuit with these kind of times, right? Major circuit.
Yes. Good. Getting a good early start can just be a good confidence boost, even.
So if either of these guys does actually manage to get past King Hippo, we might see some fancy stuff from our good buddy Fiesel in terms of switching these layouts around. But until we get past King Hippo, we're probably just going to show you all three players and what's going on with them. But King Hippo is the huge reset point, and once you get past him, I don't want to say you're guaranteed, but you have a pretty good chance of getting at least to Soda Popinski before there would be an opportunity for reset.
Yeah, Soda Popinski is the second most random fight. He can just end your run pretty much just by continuous hooks or just too many delays.
Right. So these guys are going to need some really solid luck to get world record. There's definitely a lot of fights that have fairly big ranges in terms of what you can get as like the lowest time and the highest. So Weejawee, his first hippo attempt, hippo opens right away. That's a good sign. We need 2 more opens. There's another one. Looks like he connected well on that. Oh my goodness, 3 in a row. So Weejawee on world record pace coming out of King Hippo already, and Salt gets an open straight off the bat. Let's see if he gets any more opens or if he's going to have to reset.
And
he got it early. Oh no. So Salt with the reset. So I think Feasel is probably going to go ahead and solo up Weejawee at this point because he is into the meat of the run, which is once you get past King Hippo, then that's when things get really interesting. And not only is he past King Hippo, but he is on world record pace, PB pace, all of that. He's really doing a great job so far with this run. And there we see the magic. Thank you, Feasel. So Great Tiger doesn't have any RNG. You don't have to worry about luck in this fight. It's a really nice relief, especially after fighting King Hippo, who has so much luck involved, and then you just kind of have to get your stars, and then 1 counts. You see that 1 count, then guess what? Star punch, guy's going down. Simple as that. And Great Tiger's always going to get up on 1 as long as you have the full health and it's under a minute to go. That's just the way it works. So perfect fight there. He may lose just a very tiny bit of time just based on the decimal points. So he got a 48.61. He might lose a little bit of time there, but less than a second.
Yeah. So doesn't really matter what sort of decimal points you get on a Great Tiger. It's always going to be around 48.
So Bald Bull, this is going to be one that could kill his lead depending on the luck that he gets. As we mentioned earlier, that 17-second phase 1 is free every time, but phase 2 is where things are going to start to change. So remember, he needs to get 2 stars in his first 2 punches. That's 50% likely to happen. If he doesn't, then he's going to get a slower time. So let's see.
He gets the lucky star, so he's going to get a really fast phase 2 here.
And that allows him to do a different pattern. Oh, and he gets rolling jabs. This is even better. Oh, but he missed. Okay, I think he missed doing max damage with his star uppercut there, unfortunately. So he had to do a different ending to that phase, and he has only 2 stars instead of 3 here. So he can still get a decent time, but this is not going to be a top tier time, and it's going to take him off a pace. He gets rolling jabs again.
But more rolling jabs.
Oh man, I think he didn't really know how to react to that. That was a really strange pattern there from Bull. Just a lot of shenanigans going on. So 109 is going to take him off of. He might still just barely be on record pace. Let's see. Once he enters his time in the spread. Okay, so we can see he's just barely behind world record now, but he is still on PB pace. So that's good. And it looks like a very nice phase 1 for Zallard against Honda 1 on his first run. He's done with his Tyson practice. He's ready to start attempts.
Yeah, a 27 phase 1 is very, very fast. It's about as fast as it can get for that particular strategy. But Honda gets up on an 8 count, which means bad refill. Bad refill.
Salt with another 46, though. He's headed back to majors, but let's check in with Weejawee. He is on Honda 2. Tricky fight here. He's got to open with all this guard manipulation. He's holding up to get the star there, holding up, waits for Honda to drop his gloves. Did not get a lucky star there, but he does get a 27. So what he needs here is he needs at least 1 more good star in this phase to set him up for the final phase. And he's got to hit these very precise star uppercuts where you're holding up and start at the same time until you see Honda drop his gloves, and at that exact moment you got to let him have it, and that's Honda it. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah, and he got the good refills. Certainly he's up 41, and he can get a 45 off this if he executes this last punch, and he does.
Very nice fight. That is going to keep him on a very, very good pace. 44 or 45 is really the time you're looking for in that fight. And he got a 45.82, so that's great for him. He's going to keep going. Meanwhile, our other competitors are going to be headed into the King Hippo fight to see if their run can continue. But Weejawee going to take on Soto Popinski before that happens. And as we mentioned before, this guy is one of the #1 run killers if he doesn't want to throw those uppercuts, then you might be pressing the reset button. And there's hook number 1 and a very slow uppercut. So a 31-second phase 1, that is going to probably end things for Weejawee. We'll see. He could get 2 really fast phases here, but it's going to be rough.
And Soda not being kind, throwing another hook with a long delay and another.
And another. Soda just having none of it. So yeah, Soda says, you know what? I'm sorry, Weejawee, your run has come to an end. Good night. But the beauty of this format, guys, is he can reset. We can try again. These guys are, they're going for the record, so there's going to be some resetting involved. And you can see Salt just reset there on King Hippo. Zallard going to get his chance now. So Weejawee, yeah, he's probably going to reset here, I think. Unless he thinks that there's another race going. All right, well, he's going to keep going. He's going to fight Wall. Maybe you know what I think? You know what I think?
And all the misdirection gutters.
What do you think? I think that he may want to practice because his run kind of fell apart towards the end. And maybe he just wants to get another go at these guys to do a little confidence building. I wouldn't blame him at all for that. So we see a 45 from Zallard 1, and he is going to be moving on. So we could probably solo him up because he is now going to get a crack at a good run. He is on world record pace, but he's not on PB pace. How does that work?
That probably works because Zallard's opening was much faster than Salt's. Salt's early game was quite slow, but the late game was top notch. All the luck was there, and that's where he really pulled out a huge lead over everyone else.
Yeah, he has a very, very good Don Flamenco 2, which is an extremely random fight, and then he also has a good Sandman and a good Macho. His Tyson is a little bit improvable. That's one spot where these guys, if they're behind, they can catch up with a really good Tyson fight. That's kind of the wild card at the end of the run. Like, these guys have all pulled out like sub 220 Tyson fights. Probably close to 210s, I would imagine, for most of these guys in actual runs, right?
Yes, I think everyone's pulled out a very good Tyson at the end of a run before. I think Salt's the only one to do it with a perfect Tyson fight, which is only 40 punches, but 22 frame perfect inputs. That's very tough.
That is tough stuff. So we see Zallard here. He's doing his 17-second knockdown. No problems there. That's the easy part. He's going to need to get some good luck on this first punch here. Is it the first or the second? I can never remember.
It's the first.
Okay, well, he got it. So he is going to wind up, get some more stars, and he's going to be able to take Bull down relatively quickly. He's got to do a delayed punch there for a star, which he hit. That's tricky to time, but a 45-second knockdown with 3 stars behind. He's in good shape for phase 3. He needs a good refill here, though. We need that good refill. Let's see it. He got it.
That's the good refill.
And rolling jabs? No. Rolling jabs was too greedy. It was too greedy. But a 104.
Every bit of luck. You can try, but the game just loves to deny it.
Oh yeah, the game will deny you. So 104.25 for Zallard. That's going to put him on PB. So now he's on PB pace, but Salt actually has a 102 in his world record, I believe. So now we see Zallard falling a little behind the world record. So you're going to kind of see these ups and downs as we go along here. And Weejawee is indeed continuing. He is, I think, like I said, he's trying to get those kinks out from the earlier run and just make sure that he feels confident fighting these later boxers. But he is not on a pace that is going to get him a PB or a record. But Zallard 1 still has the opportunity. He's going to need to execute on Honda 2. Let's see it. So you can notice he actually opens with 2 gut punches there. That's a trick that you can do by actually pressing up in between the punches, which will manipulate Honda to keep his guard up. And that's how you can hit him with those 2 gutters right in the beginning. So perfect 27, phase 1 from Zallard. He's got a star behind. Now he's got to do the max damage uppercuts. These are not free. First one's good. Oh, and he misses
Oh.
the second one. I think he can recover from this. Nope. That's going to be a reset for Zallard. Well, he might. You know what? He probably might not need a reset actually. Depending on, he may still be able to PB from this, so he may keep going here, even with that big time loss, the 1 minute loss. There are some of those later fights can really swing things around, right?
Yeah, the Don 2 is the big fight where you can gain a lot of time if you get the right luck happening.
Yeah,
and it's happened in runs before.
He's going to be looking for that time that Salt got in his in the race, right? What did he get?
133.
133. But first,
it can go even faster than that if you get the real good luck.
Well, Soda being generous. Soda is being generous here. He's giving a 17. Oh, you know what? I think in Zallard's run, does he maybe have a 1 minute Honda? Let me check that real quick, actually.
I'm not sure what Zallard's current PB is, but
let me see if I can look at his splits here. All right. So we have everybody's splits listed here. It's a little bit off here. Oh, as a matter of fact, yes. So Zallard 1 actually has a 102. So he actually gained time there. No wonder he kept going with his run. He actually gained time over his PB in that particular fight. So that's why you still see him on PB pace. And a 52.61. Wow. That's big time.
That's a big time save. I think. I can't tell. It's
That's putting him ahead. It looks like 5.5 seconds. So Zallard on PB pace here. World record's going to be, I don't want to say impossible, but it's going to be really tough. Let's see what kind of strategy he invokes here, because he can go for those misdirection gutters, which save. How much do those save each, would you say?
They save about 3 seconds if you hit one. It's a 25% chance for it to land, though.
Okay, so let's see if Zallard wants to gamble. I think he's on PB pace. Would you gamble here, Ampath?
I think if I was going for a record, I probably would gamble. But if I'm just going for a PB, I would just play it safe. Because if you miss them, you lose 1 second.
Okay, I would tend to agree with you. There's the risk reward here is a bit high, given that he is on such a solid PB pace.
Yeah.
So, and it looks like he did go for 1. And then he missed. Oh, okay, that's actually going to hurt him a little bit. So he went for 1 in phase 3, which, I mean, you can't blame him. You can't blame him for going for 1 at the end there, because like you said, it only costs 1 second if you do things just right. And he does actually in his PB have a 125, so the only way he was going to get close to that would have been as if he hit 1.
Yeah. So I would, if my PB had at least 1 in it, then I would probably have to go for 1 in the, even though I probably could play it safe and still get a good time.
So that is going to put Zallard in the red. But Don 2 could save the day. He has a 142 on Don 2. He's going to need some of those random stars we talked about, and he's got 1 so far. He could get more. Okay, he's going to have just the 1, so with that 47 and the random star, if he gets the right refill here, there's 3 possible refills. If he gets one of the better refills, then he could get a nice time. And it looks like that was the bad refill.
Yeah, that was the bad refill, but with 1 star, you can still get a good time.
So yeah, I think he may be able to get a 139 from this, do you think?
Yeah, I think 139 is possible here. I don't know how many jabs Joe. Oh. Yeah, Joe tried to do 3 jabs.
I think he missed.
Yeah, 1. Yeah, and there was kind of an awkward timing to the start of the phase, and then Don blocked and didn't retaliate. It was a bit of a weird situation, but 141 is still a very solid time.
So we can see that Summoning Salt has quietly made his way into the world circuit. He is a little bit behind. He's about 10 seconds behind, but he's probably banking on hoping to make that time up on Tyson later on.
Yeah.
But Zallard is going to need to take on Sandman here. He's got a 220 that he's running against. So in order to keep pace with his time, he's going to need some luck, but he is on PB pace still. So we can see that Summoning Salt having no problem at all with Piston Honda 2. He is one uppercut away from moving on from that fight. And Zallard, meanwhile, handling Mr. Sandman so far. Salt does close that fight out.
Yep, 45 Honda 2 is a very, very good time. It's about as fast as it goes.
That is a strong time. But Soda is going to determine things right here, right now. If Soda says reset, then Salt's going to have to reset. There's not many more bailouts for him, because since he already has world record, yeah, he's not going to have too many PB opportunities there. It's just world record or nothing. As we see Zallard executing those nice quick dodges so that he can get in extra punches on Mr. Sandman and take him down at 55. What do you do on a 55, MPAP?
I think the best situation is just to wait for about 157, then throw a face jab. Sandman will dodge it and then counter with a hook, which is what Zelda does. But unfortunately, Sandman gave the big refill, which is a 25% chance, but that costs about 10 seconds.
Yeah, that is probably that's gonna put an end to. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. He could still have a godlike Tyson, but he may already have one in his. He may already have one in his PB. So this is gonna be rough going.
I think Zallard might have a sub 220 in his PB, but
he has a 219, but he does have a 103 on Macho. So if he pulls out a 55 here in this next fight, he can kind of make up some of that ground. Summoning Salt, meanwhile, did dispatch of Soda. And Fiesel working that magic, showing us both of these at the same time here. We can see a nice phase one from Salt as Zallard gets ready for his fight with Macho Man.
So you open the Macho Man with a move called a Dizzy Destroyer, which is basically a combo you can gut punch, face punch combo you can do on only Super Macho Man and Piston Honda 2. Yeah, it's a very efficient way to do damage very quickly.
So Zallard, unfortunately, not getting the luck he needed on Macho, and he's not going to be able to really gain time here. But he should still finish out his run here. Usually, if you get a run this far, you just go ahead and finish it out. Summoning Salt, on the other hand, executing very well in this fight. He is going to have a 128, and he is going to be moving on to take his crack at the Spanish lottery, as we call him, Don Flamenco 2. If you hit the lottery like you did last time, you can get a really nice time, but he's also up against a pretty low time. I believe he has a 126 or some such thing.
Yeah, 126. It's almost guaranteed to lose time, even if you don't make mistakes on that, but there is a small chance you could gain time as well.
Very small chance, but again, Salt is mainly going on the idea that he wants to get to Tyson and gain his time there, because his Tyson was a little bit subpar, and that's what he kind of has to bank on. So for him to be in the red, it's okay. You guys will see him kind of trying to get as many runs to Tyson as he possibly can, where he still has a chance of record. And so Zallard here.
Zallard didn't get a great Macho. He's 21 seconds behind PB. But I don't think he can save 21 seconds on Tyson alone.
No. Not even only the task can get a 158, which is what would be required in this particular scenario. But hey, he wants to get that confidence up. You know, he was practicing Tyson earlier when the other guys had started their runs. He wanted to make sure he felt good. And so far, his phase one is looking good until he got blocked there. Salt not getting the luck he needed on Don 2, unfortunately, so that is probably going to end his run. But he may also finish out. We'll see. Typically, runners, when they get this deep, they finish out the runs a lot of times, and I don't blame them.
Zallard got a 59 phase one, even with the one block, and that's just because Tyson decided he wanted to do a very fast pattern, which is always welcome in a run.
Tyson went completely bonkers, and a 139 really well executed phase two there. So Zallard can actually get a really nice time here, and that'll certainly do something for its confidence going into the future runs. So frame perfect punch there, another frame perfect, a third, a fourth, fifth. Oh my goodness, can he get a perfect phase three? Oh, he was
Oh,
one punch away. Still an excellent time. Look at that, 2:22. That's the kind of time you need to wrap a run up with. And Zaller did it. So really a great, great run by him. Let's see what his final time is going to end up being. I think lower than his the race that we saw.
yeah,
This may be the best time
definitely.
of the night so far. I believe Salt got a 16:12 in the race, if I'm not mistaken. Oh well,
Yeah, I'm
Zaller
pretty
didn't
sure
enter the
that's right.
time. I think he I think he just said, forget it. I got what I got.
Zalad is now practicing Honda too because that runner went a little haywire in his run, but wants to get that practice in. Don't make the same mistake twice.
Definitely. This game is all about like feel, and you want to feel good when you go into a fight, like you're gonna hit the strats, and when you feel that way, then you'll hit them a lot more often. So definitely smart for Zala to be going for it. Just take those few minutes, just practice, get your muscle memory right, and keep it moving. As we see Salt here with a 2:24, so he's going to be losing a little more time, and you're starting to see now that his execution is top tier, but the luck has not been there for him in this run. And just based on luck alone, look how far behind he is. So it's the one thing that's really tough about speedrunning this game, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, the luck is a real killer.
I mean, you can have a really great time and or great execution, and the luck can just kind of say nope.
Yep, that's exactly right.
But looks like Salt's going to finish out for practice here anyway, and Ouija Wee has yet to get another run going. Again, he's having a little bit of a struggle there with Honda 1. That new strategy on Honda 1 does introduce an extra element of randomness that wasn't there before. Could you kind of like break down that strat a little bit for our viewers the next time we get to Honda 1?
Yep.
Okay.
No worries.
It is a change. It is definitely a change from what we've seen in the past, where Honda 1 used to be pretty free to get past, but you also didn't have the opportunity to get such a low time on him. And a 54 from Salt is just obscene. That is incredible.
That's just the second knockdown.
Oh, okay. Well, that's my bad for not paying close enough attention there.
That's all right. You can get kind of lost in these fights, watching all three screens at once.
All right. So it looks like Salt gonna go ahead and finish out.
Yeah, Salt wants to get that practice in on Tyson. Tyson is always the hardest fight. No one can ever play perfectly every time on him.
No, not even close. The closest is probably Salt and, well, the three guys that you're looking at right here. These guys are probably three of the most consistent at Tyson. Again, you're going to be hitting Tyson with a initial punch, and then following that with a punch that has to be frame perfect in order to deal 5 damage as opposed to 1 damage. You just hit him with a not frame perfect punch. So you're gaining 4 damage each time you hit him. And Tyson starts out with 96 health, so essentially you need to hit 9 of those. That way each punch you dodge, you're dealing 10 damage. So on the 10th punch, you can take him down, and that affords you margin of error of missing 1 punch out of the 10.
Yeah, you can be early on 1 punch.
Alright, so we have reached that title bout with Ouija Wee taking on Piston Honda 1.
So yeah, the new Piston Honda 1 strat, the old strat you would open with a triple lefts, or you could do a left, right, and then that would save 1 punch later. But due to some recent research, you can actually if you open with left, right, you can do your first 2 star punches, but then wait for Honda to hook, which he has a good chance of doing, and then you can do more damage with the following star punch, and then you finish off the phase 1 with 3 face punches and go into phase 2 with 2 stars. But the problem with that is sometimes Honda will give too short of a delay, and then he can just block your last few face punches, and that can end the end the fight right there.
Well, Weijui executed it perfectly just as you outlined and ends up with a 44, so he is in great shape. He is going to be headed back to the major circuit for the first time since his first run that he had going there. And he's on a pretty good pace again. Although it looks like we're not seeing it. I'm not sure if he's entering his splits. Okay, there we go. I think sometimes it just takes a little bit to catch up. I think the splits might be a little bit delayed. So that's one thing that we're having a different setup here, guys. We're actually capturing these splits from a sheet, from a Google sheet, which is what calculates them. It does all the math and everything. The players just enter the actual times they get on the blue screens in between each fight. And I think there's just a little bit of lag with that. Again, this is not the normal setup, everyone, so please forgive us if we're just a touch behind, but we'll keep you up to date on that. And Weijui, again, he is on that really, really nice pace. So if he can manage to get a decent hippo here, I'd say he could probably even get a 50 and be okay, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think so. 50 is not the greatest time, but it's definitely keepable. Definitely can still get record with a 50 hippo, and some other luck goes your way later in the run.
So again, as we mentioned earlier, the only way you can ever hit King Hippo is if he opens his mouth, and there's no way to manipulate that, unfortunately. And the players are just kind of at the mercy of King Hippo and what he wants.
Yeah, the programmers for the game kind of went a bit mad with power with how random they want to make events in this game. Yeah, so every input you do changes the RNG, and the game checks on every single frame. So unless you're playing, you press every button for the exact same amount of frames every single time.
Well, Hippo looks like he got a little mad there, and he was swinging away. So we got a 45 here, and Weijui is going to have his second run of the night past King Hippo. Man, that is some good luck. So once again, I think we are going to probably go ahead and solo up Weijui and see if he can get past Soda. I believe Soda got him last time with some pretty bad luck.
Yeah, Weijui got horrible luck on Soda. Hopefully that does not happen again for the duration of this event.
So this fight has 0 luck, as we mentioned, and for anybody that's just joining us, this is Chase for the Record. This is a series that showcases certain games that have communities with top-tier players that are all competing for world record, and this is kind of a way of introducing you to those players and the games and showing their attempts at the same time. And as you notice, the action has been pretty heavy. Even though the players are resetting, we generally have had someone on a run for the most part. So that's the idea here, and you can catch more Chase for the Record episodes on Speed Gaming channel. Make sure you follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 for all your tournament action. There's a lot of tournaments that are going on in speed running, and you can catch them all here, as well as things like Chase for the Record and other events. So nice fight there by Weijui. He's moving on to Ball Bull. It looks like Salt and Zallard both getting out of the minor circuit at the same time. They're like almost synced up there.
Yeah. Yeah. So Weijui just gone the 17-second phase one. It's the most efficient, very fast way, very easy to pull off. It's all buffered except the final punch. It's just a very good phase one. I don't know who discovered that phase one, actually. It's probably a very, very old strategy.
Very old, yes. I wish I could tell you exactly who discovered it, but it was probably discovered in the late 90s. That's how old that strat is. So 47 there, phase one, not ideal. Or sorry, phase two. Weijui probably going to need the good refill here in order to get a nice time. And the good refill is only 25% likely. He does not get it. Gets the bad refill, does not get rolling jabs either. So he's going to be stuck with a 108, which is a little bit unfortunate, but his execution was on point. He's going to just need a little bit of luck later on down the line here. So he's going to move on. Going to get another crack at Honda 2. And we see Zallard is going to take his turn at King Hippo. Hopefully we see a lot of quick opens.
And Salt also at King Hippo as well. Zallard gets an open straight away, which is always good. And Hippo is just a few normal punches, but then another open.
Oh, and Zallard missed the third open there, unfortunately, so he's probably going to have to reset. Salt did get an open early, and now getting trolled, as expected.
Yeah. Hippo is not... He likes to give you some good luck at the start, and then just no luck right at the end to finish off the fight.
Yeah, he loves to tease. He loves to tease players. That's what he does. So back to Ouija Wee. He is taking on Honda 2. Very, very tricky fight. He's hitting the guard manipulation so far. This 27-second phase 1 is not easy, but he gets it, and he has 2 stars. So he's in good shape for no matter what luck he gets the rest of the fight. He can complete this fight in a good time. And as long as he can hit these max damage uppercuts, there's 1. There's 2. That's interesting. He did a left-handed gutter there. That saved him 2 frames. But it changes the timing just ever so slightly, but he still managed to get it. And a 46. Very nice. Very nice.
It's a good time. Should be noted that getting a random star, actually takes off a little bit of extra time, but if he got the big refill in phase 2, that extra star would have been helpful. But he didn't get the big refill, he got the low refill, so getting an extra star did cost him a tiny fraction of a second, but I mean, just for that safety, I'd be happy with just for the safety of having that extra star. That'd be always good.
Agreed. And Soda giving better luck this time around. No extra hooks. A 17-second phase 1. He's going to need 2 more just like that. Let's see what phase 2 has to offer. Looks like it has another hook to offer. It's Soda's going a little crazy with the hooks tonight, but that's not the worst. I mean, he's a 46. He can still get a 103.
Yes.
If I'm doing my math right here. Hopefully no more hooks in this final phase. Okay, that was a long delay, so it's not going to be quite a 103. 107. This is a little borderline now. That hook did cost quite a bit of time, so typically you want to get sub 1 minute on Soda. That is ideal. But again, this fight is very luck-based, and you can't do much to control it. Ouija Wee going to keep going. He's probably going to go for those misdirection gutters.
Yeah, definitely. I would probably go for them after a 107 Soda. It's an easy way to it's an easy way to gain time, but it's entirely random though.
Yeah, the one nice thing about this game, though, is like you're not truly out of it for a while. Like I would say almost until you fight Don 2, right? Because you could always have the massive time swing on Don 2 if you just go lucky, if you hit the jackpot. So that's why a lot of these runs, it's like, okay, let's just keep it going here. Let's see what happens. So misdirection, not connecting there. Oh wait, did he get that one?
Yeah, he went for a second one in phase 2.
Oh, he went for a second one and he got it. Wow, that's impressive. So he might try one more. You think he tries one more here?
I think he will try one more. Ouija loves his misdirection gutters.
Okay.
And he does go for it, but gets blocked, and then Bull trolls him with another block.
Bull having none of it, so
it's
128.
So all the luck kind of evened out in the end.
Yeah, I suppose so.
He got some bad luck.
So Zallard able to move out of minor circuit yet again, and so does Salt. These guys are just so consistent. Even with that tricky new Honda 1 strat, they are both showing what they're capable of. Don 2 hopefully shows that he is capable of giving some random stars to our good friend Ouija Wee here.
Hopefully we see many, many random stars.
This is where he'd be getting them.
The first few punches. But this strategy has 9 opportunities for a random star, which is many more than the old strategy, which only had, I think, two opportunities.
Right. So again, the opportunities for random stars, you need to have 1 star already. in order to get those random stars. And then in phase 1, that first punch is guaranteed to be a random or not a non-random star. So you're set up, and then you kind of gotta hope that you get another one. And Ouija Wee going to close this one out. He's got his 1 star for the final phase. He's going to do the left-left-right semi-infinite combo for 13 punches, and then throw a star, and he hopefully he gets blocked quite a bit.
Yeah, Don's random retaliations there.
Yeah, that's going to put an end to things for him. Unfortunately, he was actually on PB pace, it looks like there. I think he must be up against a bad Soda Popinski in his current PB. So that's what afforded him to keep going. And
Zalad is doing some work on Hippo right now. I think he's going to end up with a 51 or 52. Zalad missed it. Didn't get the early counter.
Didn't get the early counter. So with King Hippo, the funny thing is that even when he does open his mouth, you have to hit him really, really quickly in order to get those 9 gut punches in, and it's a super tight window. You can practice it, and it still never becomes easy. But so Zallard missing one of those. Salt, on the other hand, looks like he did get all of them, so he's going to have a nice time here. He's going to have a 45, and he will move on. We can probably go solo to Salt here since he is on a nice pace, and Ouija Wee's run is pretty much done. I don't think he can recover this time, even with a really good Tyson. He is probably just finishing out for practice here.
I'm not sure what a Ouija Wee's Tyson time is. I think it's in the 220s.
Let me check here. I believe all these guys have pretty good. Looks like 239 actually. So,
239.
But even then, I mean, you'd be hard pressed because he's got a 220 Sandman and a 55 Macho. So
everything has to go right.
You're in trouble, man. The stars really have to align, and then he's got to do it. But maybe. So he would need at minimum in the teens, right? He's got to get at least a 215 or 16 and get the good fights against Sandman and Macho.
Yeah.
That's some long odds right there.
One can hope.
Yes. You always have to keep hope alive in this game. That is something that you must do when you're faced with such brutal randomness in a video game. That's all you can do. But he does get a 225, so that is definitely going to put an end to his attempt. He'll probably finish it out just for the practice and confidence building. But I do not believe he can PB from this point. Summoning Salt, on the other hand, on a good pace here. He's going to need to get some luck in phase 2, as we've mentioned. Bull 1 can give that random star 50% of the time in the second phase. He can also do the rolling jabs pattern, which is 25% likely. That can be favorable, and the good refill is 25% likely. So you need some luck, is what we're saying here.
Yeah. Salt getting I think he got the lucky star here.
He did.
3 stars into 45, which is very good.
45 is a nice second phase when you got 3 stars to back it up. If you can get the good refill here, you're in good shape. Good refill plus rolling jabs is big time. And he did get the good refill.
Does he get rolling jabs? And he doesn't. That costs a little bit of time, but it's only about a second. I think the record currently has a 102.25 on Bull.
I think you're right. So Salt still maintaining a very nice pace, and again, you're going to see him. He's not going to be ahead very often. He is banking on getting to Mike Tyson within striking distance and taking him down. That's what he's looking for. So he's on the way back to the World Circuit, and for anybody that is just joining us, the times in this game are calculated by the in-game timer, not by real time. That's why you don't see any splits running on the screen here. In the bottom right, you can see our pace graph there. You can see the pace that each player is on versus the world record and versus their own personal best. Now, in Summoning Salt's case, his personal best is the world record, so that's why his numbers are the exact same every time. And you can see he's 3 seconds behind at the moment. And this fight, hopefully, he'll be able to stay in range and get a shot against Soda.
Yes, that's right. You just want to For someone like Salt, he just wants to execute as well as he can every time, hopefully, and get good luck along the way. Get to Tyson within maybe, hopefully within as good of a time as he can get. Probably 15, maybe plus 15 at the maximum, plus 15 seconds at the maximum, and then execute a very good Tyson at the end and take the new world record.
So he didn't get the good refill there. He got the bad refill, which costs a few seconds, but he'll still hopefully manage a 49, and he does. So probably going to lose a little bit of time there, but Soda's really going to be the one that determines how far this run can go. As Zallard prepares for another battle with King Hippo. You're going to see King Hippo a lot today, guys. He is the biggest reset point of this game. Complete randomness. We have Hippo and Soda on screen at once. This is so wrong. This is just...
There's just too many random events that can possibly happen right now. But Zallard gets a very good Hippo. 41.
Oh, yeah. That's what we want to see. 41 Hippo is nice. Zallard's going to keep going. Salt, is he going to get a hook? No, he is going to get a 33-second knockdown.
We're getting two very good fights happening at the same time here. Two fights that can go very wrong, going very right at the same time.
So Zallard getting to move on here, and Salt, if he gets one more uppercut, he does. Oh my goodness. A 49? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't even think I've seen a 49.
Are you kidding me? I've gotten 149 like ever. And this guy just pulled out a 49.61. That is amazing. So Zallard and Salt both on some pretty good runs here. And thank you to Feasel, who's running our broadcast here and doing the magic of switching these layouts around for your production value, as folks noted in the chat there. So Salt misses a punch there, and that is going to cost him a serious chunk of time, unfortunately. He's going to lose about 5 seconds to that. Zallard had... Oh no, Zallard lost it to...
Yeah, Zallard made a mistake on a great Tiger.
So he got the good luck against King Hippo, and then he blew it in the fight that has no randomness.
Yeah.
Well, he can keep going though. He can still maybe PB out of this, so he's going to keep it rolling. Salt with that 112-second knockdown. He is behind the 8 ball at this moment, folks.
Yeah. It's possible Salt to go for a misdirection gutter to try and make up some of that lost time on this fight.
I think he's got to.
He doesn't go for it. Interesting.
He's going to be a little more conservative here. I'm not sure what he's hoping for. I guess he's just hoping for a miracle Don 2 here, because he's already up against one. He can't really afford to lose that much more time before he's out of range of his Tyson fight.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of all or nothing on Don 2 at this point.
So Zallard hoping to get a good refill here. That would help him on his way to getting a little bit of time back against Bull 1. Both of these guys needing luck right now. Bad refill for Zallard.
Salt getting no lucky stars. Oh, there's one.
Oh, he got one. Can he get another one? I think he just did. I think he just did. So this is a good situation here. If we see the small or the mid refill here, I think we're going to see a pretty fast time.
Yes. The mid refill is preferable here, and Salt gets the mid refill.
Oh, man.
So he should be getting a 124, 125-ish time.
He's got 112. He's got the 1 star behind, and he's going to be able to get another star in this final phase. And Don's going to have about 56 health. He should be able to take that down pretty quickly, as you see the immediate star get, and his console's glitching out a little bit there, but he got the final star. Or maybe that's, I don't know if that's the stream or if that's his game.
I think that's probably his game. Well, I don't know. That was very interesting.
That was weird. That was weird. So 128 is absolutely insane. Summoning Salt could do some things here, guys. This is getting pretty serious now. He's got a couple fights, and then Tyson is where he needs to really make his mark. as we see
Yeah,
Zallard
Zola
taking
this time. Zola's up against two very good splits on Sandman and Macho. His goal is to not lose any time on both of them and then be within striking distance for Mike Tyson.
And then at that point, again, he has to hit 22 frame perfect punches at a minimum, potentially more, depending on the situation.
Probably go for every single one, even if he can probably play it a little bit safe towards the end of the fight. He'd probably try to max it out.
So Zallard, meanwhile, is getting a 46 there. That's going to keep him on a decent enough pace because he was up against a bad Honda 2. So he has a chance here. Zallard can keep his run going. A 117 on Summoning Salt's side is certainly good enough. Phase 1 is only going to be 116, 117, or 118. It's really going to come down to Phase 3 is really what determines this fight.
Yeah, all the time loss comes in Phase 3 for Sandman. But so a 153 knockdown is very good. You can actually, because he gets a 153, he can actually go for one small punch there to cut a little bit of time off of Phase 3. It saves about 1 second.
See if he gets a fast delay here. He does. Fast delay, so now he's just going to be able to punch, and he doesn't have to do a delayed final punch because he did get in that one extra punch. So this should be a 219. Oh, no.
No, he goes for the
Why did he go for that?
I don't know.
He didn't need to go for that, so he just lost a little bit of time. That was a mental error by Summoning Salt. Extremely rare that you would see that. He's probably feeling a lot of pressure right now. I bet he hasn't been on this kind of pace in a while. I mean, even though it looks like he's far behind, he's really, really not. Wow. This is intense.
It's just all hope Macho Man wants to cooperate. Hopefully gives all the good patterns.
We need the good pattern. We need it right now. So again, 4 punches to get that guaranteed star. Then we're going to use the star and hope for a lucky star right here. He didn't get it, so Macho not cooperating.
Doesn't allow the punch through, and Macho gives not the greatest pattern.
Really bad pattern there from Macho. A 39 knockdown. That is going to put Salt in trouble. He's not out of it yet. He still has a chance. Zallard is making progress here. He has a good Phase 2 against Bull 2, and he's keeping his run alive. Meanwhile, Weejuwee has made it past King Hippo.
Oh yeah, everyone is on a run now.
Everybody's on a run now, but Salt is the only one that can really immediately get world record. He's in tough shape though, man. He's gonna lose. He's gonna lose a lot of time in this fight. I think Macho may have just killed the run.
Yeah.
But this is still going to be just an insane run if he finishes it off, which I hope he does go ahead and finish off Tyson. But Macho, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?
Macho Man. Yeah, Macho Man is probably one of the fastest paced fights, and then you also have to adjust for the sort of luck you get midway through. So it can get very complicated, and if you're with your nerves racking up, anything can happen.
Random star there for Zallard. He's in business here. So Zallard, as long as he can execute this phase well enough, he is going to be in good shape for his Don 2 fight. And he can catch up some more time, which he's already on PB pace. Weejuwee, meanwhile, continuing. He didn't have the greatest hippo ever, but he's going to continue. And we see Tyson. Is he going to give a good pattern here? So much going on right now. Oh, Zallard missed a punch. I think he's still okay. But
I think so, yeah. Zallard should get at least 1 star on one of these 3 punches here.
And a 102, and Zallard does get a star, but Don 2 is blocking like a jerk. Stop it! Don 2, what are you doing, man? Don 2.
There's nothing you can do about that. You just Don cooperates, and he doesn't like to cooperate.
He does not. So the thing with Don 2 is once he goes into his defensive phase at 1 minute and 30 seconds, he doesn't always retaliate. Like Don Flamenco 1, as soon as you punch and he blocks, he'll retaliate with that uppercut. But Don 2, sometimes he'll just sit back and block 4, 5, 6 times like what he just did to Zallard there. And you can see now Zallard is in a little bit of trouble in terms of his PB pace. He's 7 seconds behind, but not completely out of it yet. because I think is he the one that's going against the not great Macho? Let me take a look here.
I'm not sure, but Salt just finished off Tyson with a 220.
Wow, incredible Tyson fight.
That is probably one of the top 5 fastest runs ever in this game. All of which are held by Summoning Salt.
That is an incredible run. So Salt, as you can see, it came down to Macho. Macho was the defining fight there. Salt actually had a chance, and if he had gotten that 220, I believe he's against, I want to say maybe a 227 or 29 in his actual run there. I think it's a 227. So he would have gained 7 seconds in that final fight. Might have been enough if he had had a decent Macho, but unfortunately, Macho did not want to play ball on this particular day. Hell of a run nonetheless.
Oh no, I'm having stream issues.
Just a sec. No problem. Go ahead and refresh, do what you need to do. Zallard had to reset there, unfortunately. Things did not pan out the way he was hoping. So we have all of our players back to the beginning. Back to the start. But that's okay. This is Chase for the record. And we're here to show you world record attempts from not just one person at a time. We want to show you as many as we can in tonight's show. We're showing you 3, and the reason we settled on 3 players is because it is a little more complicated to display the time for this game because it is in-game time. So what you see in that 4th box is the pace of each player, how they're doing versus the world record, how they're doing against their own personal best, and of course their overall total time. So that's what you're looking for. So these guys all competing for the world record in this classic NES game, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. And everybody kind of toward the beginning of the game right now. So I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank Speed Gaming for putting this show on among the many other tournaments that they're featuring right now. Make sure you follow the Speed Gaming channel and Speed Gaming 2. There's actually so many tournaments in speedrunning right now that there's multiple channels needed to support them, which I think is pretty cool.
Alright, I've got the stream back, and everyone is I am back. Okay. And everyone is back in the minor circuit.
Back in the minors, man. You know, it's like being in the pros. You know, you get called up to the pros, and then you know, strike out a few too many times, you get sent back down to the minors.
Yeah.
So that's where these guys are. So Zallard will take the first crack at Piston Honda 1, as MPAP explained before. It is a new strategy that these guys are using against him. It's a little bit trickier, so it's not a guaranteed thing. But if you're able to get out of phase 2, you should be able to get is it a 46 or less?
Yeah, 46 or less. It kind of irons out the difference between the big and the low refills at the end of the fight, because that can kind of swing a fair amount. But with this, you get the low refill time stays about the same, but the big refill, it brings the worst case scenario down to a 40, from like about a 50 to a 46, which is always good.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, the thing that got these guys back competing in the game, because, you know, for a while we were looking at Salt's run, and it's just, the luck in his run is incredible, and his execution, of course, is incredible as well, but there wasn't really like many places where you could look at and be like, oh, I can gain time against that. But this strategy came out, and it's like, boom, Zallard gets a 45. 45s used to be super rare. Now you guys have probably seen maybe like 6 sub 46 times in our stream already, as Summoning Salt taking down Honda 1 there. Although he didn't get a very good phase 1, so he's not going to be on a great pace, but keep it going anyway.
Yeah. And you can see Ouija having trouble with the ending of phase 1. That's mainly just because Honda wanted to give a really short delay, and you need a long delay to hit all your face punches.
So Zallard, once again, ahead of world record. As I mentioned, that's the big time saver that these guys kind of figured, you know what, hey, let me take a shot at this again. You're always, you know, you always kind of start out with that nice little buffer of being ahead going into King Hippo now.
Yes, that is. Going ahead into Hippo is always good. That means you can take a little bit worse luck than you got last time on your PB on the world record run. Excuse me.
So speaking of world records, you've been doing the high score category of this game, and
Yes,
I believe you've gotten a couple consecutive records. Is that right?
Yeah, I got a couple of consecutive records over the last 2 days. I did spend a lot of time working out new strategies and practicing them, making them as consistent as I can make them, and that's probably helped me a lot. That's why I got 2 consecutive records.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty tough to do with given how random this game is. I mean, the viewers have seen it tonight, just how much variation there can be in these fights, and to be able to do it, because in the high score runs, you have to play all 3 rounds. It's not just trying to beat the guy as fast as possible. You're trying to get as many knockdowns as you can. You're trying to get as many stars as you can, and it's definitely something different. As we see King Hippo finally showing Zallard his true power and sending him back to the minors.
Yeah.
That's something you'll see a lot. I'm surprised we haven't seen it more, to be honest. I mean, we've had pretty much the entire time until now, there's been somebody on a run. So
yeah, it can happen sometimes. Sometimes you can go very long streaks without getting past King Hippo, which is not fun when you're always in the minor circuit.
Yeah, and we're about at the halfway point of our broadcast here for those of you joining us. These guys will be doing record attempts for at least another hour and a half, and then I believe that is going to be followed by a Super Metroid randomizer tournament match here on Speed Gaming. That's a pretty interesting tournament that's been going on recently. So in randomizer, which there's actually a randomizer for this game too, it takes the items in the game and it puts them in random locations, and then you kind of have to be able to make your way through the game creatively, since you might not necessarily have what you need in a given area. You might have to take a different route, do a lot more exploration. So it's pretty interesting stuff. Definitely something you'll want to stick around for, and make sure you follow Speed Gaming so you can see all the randomizer and non-randomizer tournament action. But as of now, we see Ouija getting a 44. I think that's like his second or third 44. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, so he's getting 44s with the old strategy is very, very rare, but we've seen a few of them today.
Extremely rare. So anyhow, looks like Salt's going to make it out as well, and both of these guys are going to get a crack at King Hippo, who is of course the first gatekeeper in this run, and then Soda Popinski is the second. But with the amount of optimization to this record, pretty much any fight beyond Don Flamenco can be a gatekeeper. Well, maybe with the exception of Great Tiger, but a lot of run-ending fights there are. So the randomizer for this game that has been worked on, it's still in the early phases. It actually randomizes the movement and the behaviors of the opponents. It randomizes the damage that they deal, the damage that you deal. It actually randomizes the time that is in a round. So you may have a 4-minute round instead of a 3-minute round, or a 2-minute round. Randomizes some of the star punches and just kind of how you can deal damage. So a lot of elements in this game can be randomized. You'd be surprised, but I've had the opportunity to play it. Have you actually had the opportunity to play it yet?
I have played it on emulator. It was very, very hard to play on emulator with the input delay and me having no idea what sort of patterns the opponents are going to give.
Right.
Very hard to play.
It's really tricky. So King Hippo with 1 open. We need 2 more. He's not cooperating.
Yeah.
Looking like a reset.
King Hippo likes doing.
Summoning Salt. He gets his first open.
Second open for Salt. Norwegian with a 105. It's not the greatest time.
That's a little suspect. And they both have simultaneous resets.
Synchronized reset.
Yeah. Yeah, King Hippo was he was letting folks through for the first portion of the stream here. I think he kind of got tired of getting beat down so much, so he's being a little more defensive now. So I guess now would be a good time to explain the buffer strats that these guys are using. So
Yeah, so
go ahead.
no,
Yeah,
yeah,
please explain.
I'll explain this. Buffer strats just essentially a series of movements you can make Little Mac perform with no delay in between them, and that allows for you can hit some very precise timings for a punch further down the chain, and that allows you to hit a four frame punch on Glass Joe every single time. And there's many other ones in the run, but none of them are as long chained as the one on Glass Joe. Usually it's only like one or two different movements, but Glass Joe has about 5 or 6 with the new lazy buffer, which only starts at about 38 seconds into the fight.
I like that name for it, the lazy buffer. I hadn't heard that one before. That's good stuff.
Yeah, you can't be bothered pressing any buttons beforehand, so you just start at 38 instead of at 0, 0.
Hey man, you're saving your controller from all that extra wear and tear. You know, that's a lot less button presses per session, right? So
Yeah, I mean
it's
you're
hard
going to be
hard to
fighting
find a
Glass
good
Joe a
controller.
lot, so that's definitely a lot of button presses that you can cut out.
So I guess I'll say that, you know, back in my day, because I'm the old man of the Punch Out crew here, that there was no buffer strat for Glass Joe. You had to manually time the punch to knock him down. You have a 4 frame window, and 4 frames is easy enough to hit, but you know you'd still get 42.25 sometimes. So you wouldn't get that 42 flat every single time, and that made things a little more tricky. But Zallard 1 really innovated a lot of the buffer strats that you see in the game now. I had put a challenge to him at one point where I was having trouble with Don Flamenco 1, and as you guys have seen, these guys have had zero trouble with Don Flamenco 1. They've all just beat him in 15 seconds every time. To find a buffer, and like, I think I was playing, and then he came back like probably within 30 minutes or something like that, and was like, okay, I found one. And I didn't believe him, because I was like, there's no way that this fight is going to become free. But he did. He found it, man, to his credit. So he's about to show that off in just a moment here.
Yeah, I was kind of a newcomer to the MTPO scene, so a lot of these strategies were already found when I rocked up. So I guess I had an easy time learning them all, learning all the fights. Didn't have to worry about a lot of tight timings. Just had a lot of buffer strats to work with.
The buffers do definitely help. I will say that. Having played the game this long, as you can see, Zallard buffering that movement there. He does the full left dodge and then the quick left dodge with the immediate punch, and that will every single time land on the exact frame that you need it to, 1/60th of a second. And yeah, that. I mean, having to do this fight without the buffer strategy and then going into King Hippo, like, basically you would accept a lot worse King Hippos as well. That's essentially what would happen. You'd be like, oh, I got a minute 5? Okay, cool, we're going with it.
I think Salt might have pointed out in the chat that something might be up with the splits.
Yeah, it looks like Zallard's splits are not displaying right now. Let me take a look here and see what we got going on. Yeah, I think
Zelda's coming up on King Hippo, hoping for 3 opens. But Hippo allowed 1 open, but no more. That's it, reset for Zallad as well. Hippo's having none of it right now.
Hippo not letting anybody pass. It's going to be Weedui's turn here. And there may have just been a time misentered on the sheet. Again, for those of you that are watching, we are using a Google sheet that calculates the time that these guys are ahead or behind world record pace or PB pace, and then their total time, which they have to enter manually. And Weedui getting some luck so far. Can he get one more?
Oh, 3 opens.
Oh,
37.
37.
The best time you can get. We'll see if it tied the task. If he A 37.61 ties the TAS. He's going to be very close. I think it might have tied the TAS.
Maybe. We'll find out here. We're going to find out together.
Oh, that's still a good time though. He only lost 1 or 2 frames. That's nothing. I'd be happy every time with a 37.
Anytime you get a 37 on Hippo, you are praising RNGesus. Like, it is the greatest thing that can ever happen to you in this game, because it gives you such a big lead over most. I mean, keep in mind, these guys will accept times up to like 50 seconds. So, that's 13 seconds better than the worst time you'd probably accept. So look at the pace now. We see Ouija Wee here. He is successfully dispatched Great Tiger, because we know we're getting 2-1 counts, so we're going to have a 48 here. So he is well ahead of world record at the moment, and he is ahead of PB, as you would expect. And he is going to be coming into Bull. Now this, I believe, last time is where he did lose a little time. Again, world record is a 102 for Bull.
Yeah, trying to not lose time on Bull, pretty much, it all comes down to the randomness, and you need good lucky stars and good patterns from Bull. And that doesn't come every fight. I believe the overall luck for a 102 is about 1 in 128.
Really?
Or 1 in 64. Something in that region.
Something silly.
Yeah. But
that's usually the story
worst,
in this game.
Yeah, something silly, yeah. The worst you should see is about a 110. So yeah, and that just comes from the sort of luck you can get.
And Ouija Wee not getting the greatest luck in phase 2 there, but he executes very well and does get a 47. So that's a couple seconds off of what you ideally you want to get a 45 with 3 stars, but he worked with what he was given, and now he has to hope for a good refill. Although I don't know you can get the good refill on an 8 count. He doesn't get the good refill.
You can only get a good refill on odd counts. So Bull gets up on a 3, 4, 5, or an 8, and you can only get the good refill on an odd count.
So you need the 3 or the 5. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Good piece of tech there.
I think Summoning Salt mentioned that to me. A couple of months ago.
So Summoning Salt having to reset there.
King Hippo. Yeah.
No surprise. That's what King Hippo does. But
it's
that's okay, guys. Machine. Because even though, think about all the resets we've had, but look at how many runs we've had that have gotten past King Hippo in just like an hour and a half. So that's kind of one of the nice things about getting everybody's attempts all going at the same time. Is you definitely will get some excitement. You'll see some runs get deep. We did see that run by Summoning Salt. That was a 15:31. That was an incredible run. And everybody's gotten to the world circuit on a good pace so far.
That's exactly right.
So Ouija Wee here, he is on world record pace as it stands right now. And looks like he is in good shape to finish out this phase 1 with a 27. He only has 1 star here.
Yeah, I didn't pick up that lucky star, but hopefully a good refill from Honda will make not having the lucky star not a problem, and that is the good refill. And he messed up the Dizzy Destroyer.
Oh, you don't see that often. So this timing is going to be a little trickier in phase 3 here. Let's hope he can still get it. Honda's gloves are going to be in a different spot. He nailed it, so still getting a 50. Okay, he made it out. That's what's important. He's going to lose some time, I'm sure, but he will still be in good shape. And it's going to come down to Soda.
Strategy. This tiny misexecution, but came up with a backup strat on the fly, which is something all the top runners are able to do.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's definitely tricky in this game. So we can see that Soda has elected to give a very fast pattern, 17 seconds. That's the phase you want. He's going to need a few more of those. Maybe he'll get a 49 like Summoning Salt did earlier. That would be something.
2 49s within an hour. That'd be pretty crazy.
Although he's doing a slightly safer strat, so he can't get a 49. He's doing He's doing the strat where you actually block. So you'll notice these guys are blocking. That's holding down is what actually causes Soda to generally go into his uppercut, as he just did there. So we have a very nice time.
People. That's a good time. Any time under a minute is always welcome on Soda.
And that is going to keep things going here for Ouija Wee. He is headed to Bull 2. Now, how aggressive is he going to be this time, MPAP? Because he's got the good pace going here. You think he's still going to go for misdirection gutters?
I honestly think he will, but it might be wise not to at this point. I think he's 13 or 15 seconds ahead of his PB.
Can he just not help himself? Oh,
yeah,
he goes for the three frame. Wow. Okay, so he just did that to get a high 37 instead of a 38 first knockdown. And if he missed that, he would have lost probably a good 6 to 10 seconds. So
yeah, that was quite a risky punch. I would not do that in my position.
And
Ouija going for all the misdirections. That doesn't get any.
No. So remember, they're only 25% likely to land.
Yeah, and if you miss it, it's you lose about a second. But if you get it, you gain 3 seconds.
But you know what? I like this because Ouija Wee really, he's on PB pace, but he's looking at that world record. He's like, hey, I'm 6 seconds behind world record. I got to get it. Okay, no misdirection there, so he is going to take just a little bit of conservativeness into phase 3.
World record time in Bull 2 is a 1:30, so he shouldn't lose any time here. Salt had one unfortunate event happen in the world record run. He got a block, no retaliation.
And he did actually indeed have a block against Don 2, if you can believe it, even though he got a 126, just ridiculous, so silly. So here we are, Don 2, the randomness king. Lucky stars are needed. He gets one right away, too. That's the good one to get. So let's hope that he can remember how to actually handle this situation, because this is something that never happens ever. So he gets the 44 with 1 star.
Yeah, Ouija would be hoping for the low refill here. Low refill would give the best time. Unfortunately, a 3 count only gives the big or the mid refill. And he gets the mid refill.
Mid refill still not bad. He is going to get a faster second knockdown of a 108.
That's a very good time.
Should be able to get in the 130s here, I think.
Yeah, I think between 134 and 137 is what Ouija should get if he plays correctly.
He just needs Don not to block a bunch of times. Don't stop blocking, you jerk.
Yeah, I think Ouija might have played phase 3 a little differently than I would have played it.
Poor Ouija Wee. So he is unfortunately against a very good Don 2 in his PB. I believe he's got a 130x in that PB. So he's going to be losing some time there, which you'll see shortly reflected in the splits. There it is. So still 6.5 seconds ahead of his PB pace, but things don't get any easier. Mr. Sandman, Super Macho Man, and Mike Tyson waiting in the wings.
Also, Summoning Soul just got past King Hippo for a first time in a while for him, so he's finally up to Great Tiger.
Nice, and he's on a good pace. So we'll see what happens there, but for the moment, we're going to keep it on Ouija Wee because he is definitely in range. I mean, he has the worst Tyson time out of all these guys in his PB, so he stands to gain the most at the end of his run. So right now he's got to take care of business on Sandman. And he can't worry about Tyson at this point in time. That's one thing I can tell you from experience is you got to play the fight you're in, man. Don't worry about, I can gain time here, or I can do this or that. Just focus on the fight you're in.
Yeah. You can get in your head sometimes if you're thinking too far ahead into the run what you should be doing, but you just got to focus entirely on what you're doing at that precise moment in time.
And right now, Ouija Wee staying focused. He does get his quick dodges in there, so he should be able to take down Mr. Sandman, and he gets a nice 154. So 154, what are you doing here in this phase?
I think it's best to not go for that extra punch, but we might see a 154. Might be safe to go for Midget Sandman, and it is a bit of showboating there.
It is. So let's see if we get a fast pattern here. We get a pretty nice time. And there is a fast pattern. So we should be getting like a 220 here, I believe. He doesn't do the triple quick dodge. He does a simple regular dodge. Oh, he missed his second quick dodge, so he's going to lose a little bit of time. 227. Yeah. That's going to cost him a little bit, but he's still okay, though. He's still okay. Remember, he has a big time gain on Tyson. He may be able to get later on if he can close out Macho in a reasonable amount of time, as we see Salt taking down Bull 1 in 107, which is a nice time there. He's going to lose 5 seconds against his PB/world record. And we have a situation with Zallard splits. We're gonna see if we can get that sorted out at some point. But I can tell you right now, he is on a decent pace, if that helps. Oh,
the wager executing everything on Macho right now. That's a very good pattern.
Oh, and a lucky star.
That's very good for a wager.
Okay, so this now comes down to execution. No matter what pattern he gets, he is equipped to handle it because he has the 2 stars. He doesn't have to worry about randomness anymore. Just has to hit this spin sucker right now. He hits it, and he's got to hit that gut. Make sure he gets the guard manipulation. He's looking good.
45 and 2 is very good. He's well equipped for phase 3 here.
So he's going to do an immediate star with a guard manipulation, and then he's going to do a gut punch, which he missed. He hit the backup, though. That's okay. Probably feeling a little bit of nerves, and he gets a 57, which he's going to lose a little bit of time. But Ouija Wee right now is up against a 239 Tyson. And what that means is that he only needs a 236 or better, and we're going to have a PB on our hands right now.
Let's hope he can do it. Let's hope Tyson is kind and no 8-second delays.
Yeah, so we haven't really discussed that yet, but Tyson, after he throws a certain number of punches, can potentially do the dreaded 8-second delay where he's just going to kind of stand there for 8 seconds and do nothing. We need him to be very aggressive in the first phase against Ouija here.
This is probably the only time where you'd actually want to be fighting Tyson and him to be actually aggressive.
Yes.
I don't think I'd want to fight an aggressive Tyson and Ouija gets the 8-second delay.
The dreaded 8-second delay. That is probably going to put this run to bed, unfortunately. You cannot afford to just lose 8 seconds outright like that. You can see he gets a 111. He had a few missed punches as well. He maybe could have had a 108 out of this, which would have given him a better shot, because now Tyson's only going to throw 3 uppercuts instead of 4. And remember, you're dealing 10 damage ideally per uppercut, so that's 10 extra damage he has to deal during this phase with the hooks. With the hooks, when you do that single punch, that means you're hitting a frame-perfect punch that deals 5. If you hit the double punch, those deal 2 apiece or 4 damage, so he's on a 201. So even with a perfect final phase here, he would get a 238.
Yeah,
that would be the best possible.
Even if he plays perfectly.
Didn't even go for the buffer there. That was something. Oh, maybe I just missed. Maybe my stream skipped a little.
Yeah, maybe as well. I don't know. It skipped on mine. It must have skipped on mine.
This is a really, really nice phase 3 too. It's unfortunate. He throws a little swag duck there. Man. So we have the swag duck we usually see is in Link to the Past randomizer. I didn't know there was a swag duck in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, but I believe we've just seen it for the first time. So a 1556 from Ouija Wee, another sub 16. That's our second sub 16 of the night. That's incredible.
That was incredible. That's a sub 16 has only been performed a handful of times by anyone. So it's amazing we've seen 2 already this stream.
Yeah, Ouija Wee got to be a little bit disappointed with just, how things went with Tyson giving the 8-second delay. That's such a crusher, man. Like, you work so hard to get that far, and then Tyson can just be like, nope.
Yeah. The 8-second delay really does put a hamper on how well you can perform the rest of the fight, because most of the time, the more uppercuts you get, that's where you save the most time. You can't really, even if you played perfectly later, it's the early stages of the fight that matter the most.
That is indeed the truth. I'm trying to sort out this Zallard 1 thing here. One of the cells is not calculating correctly. I don't know what happened here. We need a Google Sheets expert. If there's any Google Sheets experts out there, we need to do this. So everybody back to the miners.
Get a summoning salts doing once again the very difficult strat on a Honda 1, but it pulls it off. 27 with 2. That's where you want to be. Sometimes if these runners if the strat's not like going their way today, they might switch it back up to the old one, which can be just as good, but it can also be worse. It's just much more consistent. Salt getting a 44, which is about as good as that fight can get.
So Salt now taking his turn on world record pace. See how long that lasts. It'll last at least through the next fight. So it looks like Zallard got that thing with his splits sorted out. And we're back in business. And we have some time left here, guys. So, keep watching. This is Chase for the Record. We're showcasing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out tonight. We have 3 competitors that are all very capable of world record if the game provides the right luck, which, as you guys have seen so far, doesn't happen too often. But it can happen, and we're hoping that it happens here for one or more of these guys tonight. We've seen a few people on PB Pace deep into runs, so we're hoping to see somebody close something out.
Zallard gets a 1 random. 1 jab. Honda, see, if he gave a fast, gave a short delay, and he did a hook, but Zallard quickly adjusted his strategy and landed an extra phase punch in. So he actually went into phase 2 with 2 stars. So with that, he can actually do a slightly different phase 3, and also pull out a 44, which I've actually not seen anyone do before, but I knew the strategy existed. But yeah, I knew the strategy existed, but I haven't seen anyone actually do it before. Never do the backup from the phase 1.
Very well played by Zallard. So yeah, you can see these guys are ultra prepared, man. They're ready for any situation that comes up, and the ones that they're not, they'll just make something up on the fly, like we saw earlier with Luigi. So we get 1 open from King Hippo. We need 2 more. Hippo being a little stingy. Oh, there was an open, but Salt triggered it a little too early, so he's going to have to take a reset there, unfortunately. And Zallard will be the next one that's going to be taking on King Hippo. But, as we noted, that punch is very tight. You gotta hit King Hippo as early as you possibly can. And every now and then you'll see these guys will be maybe just 1 frame too early and hitting him. And that's kind of that. So
there is a small visual cue for it. Hippo's body starts shaking right before he throws the open mouth punch. But it's still, with these guys' reaction times, you actually have to delay a little bit. Well, for them, they'd have to consciously delay a little bit before throwing the punch, otherwise they will punch too early.
It's tough, man, this game. It's just, everything's very, very precise in this game. The buffers definitely help a lot with the movement. And looks like we're getting a little bit of an upgrade here in our stream with the color being changed on the splits. So hopefully that'll be a little bit easier for you guys to see.
Zallard tackling King Hippo now. Hopefully gets 3 quick opens. 1 open for Zallard. And Hippo's another open. So 3 non-opens and 1 open.
And there's the final one that he needed, so he is going to probably move on here with a 51. A 51 is not the greatest, but For Zallard's situation, I think he is going to be able to continue. He did have a 44 on Honda 1, so that kind of gives him a little bit of leeway, and he should be able to keep moving here.
Yeah, Zala can pick up a lot of time at Honda 2 in the fight. He can gain over 15 seconds. Because his current PB, I think, is what was it, Sinister? A 102 on Honda 2.
On Honda 2, yes, he has a 102.99. He had a late charge. So typically, Piston Honda 2, if you have to do the backup strat, you'll get a 1 minute .99. But Zallard must have had like an extra block or something happen, and he got a 102. So he's got plenty of time to get back once he gets a little further. So right now, he's just got to focus. He needs to make sure he doesn't mess up, and he didn't this time on Great Tiger. He had a mistake on Great Tiger earlier, but he has resolved that issue, and he's going to move ahead with a 48. And he is going to take his crack at Bull 1. And meanwhile, we see our other two players are there in the minor circuit, both of them with simultaneous get-ups on a 31 for each. And we see a 44 from Summoning Salt, 44 from Ouija. So we have the trifecta of 44s. Everybody on this stream right now has gotten a 44 in their run against Piston Honda 1. This could get interesting. Let's see if these other two guys can get past Hippo as well. That would be something.
Yeah. 44 is huge on Honda 1 nowadays because Summoning Salt was doing an older strat when he got the world record, and it ended up with a 49, which it also had bad luck in it, but one of the few places in his run that had bad luck. But getting a 5-second time gain on Piston Honda 1 is pretty huge.
Indeed. And Zallard did manage to get that lucky star on Bull, so he may be ending up with a good phase 2 time if he can get this last punch in. He couldn't quite get it, so he did finally land the delayed punch, but it was the last punch of the phase. So he ended up getting a 44, and he only has 2 stars. So he's going to need a little bit of luck in phase 3 to help out. Doesn't get the good refill. And he's doing something interesting here. Is he going to go for the... Oh, man! He went for the frame-perfect uppercut. When Bald Bull does his uppercut, you can barely have enough time to hit him with a star. And Zallard pulled it out. So that was a pure risk-reward strat that he did. And he was rewarded because he hit the frame-perfect punch. So 106 means he's going to be able to continue on and be on a pretty darn good pace here. I like it.
Yep, I agree. This is good pace. He might be 8 seconds behind, but he's going to be expecting to gain at least 10 and hopefully up to 15 on Honda 2.
That is absolutely right. So Zallard 1 hopefully able to execute this ultra tough fight. So you have to open this fight by holding up, which is what raises a boxer's guard. So Honda will raise his guard to guard his face, and then you release up, hit him in the gut once, and then you hold down A to trigger your second punch. And as soon as your second punch is coming out, you actually have to hold up again, but after the punch is already coming out, so it doesn't go to the face. And then that's what gives you this double stomach punch right to open the fight. And there it is. Then you let him drop his guard, hit him in the face a couple times, raise his guard one more time, hit him in the face, let him drop his guard, hit him in the face. No random star there, but he did get a 27. So Zallard gonna need a little bit of help. He needs the good refill and a random star. The random stars on Honda 2 are 50% likely, so let's hope for some good luck here. Looks like a bad refill.
Yep. If he gets a random star, yeah, and he does.
Thank goodness. Okay, thank goodness. So he got the random star. He's gonna get a 48 or a 49 if he can nail this last star punch. Looks good. There it is, 49. So big time gain for Zallard here. He is going to lose time to world record pace, but he is going to gain time against his own PB. So you're going to see a little bit of a divergence there, but still ahead. That's what you want to do. You want to just keep it going until there is no longer hope. And
yeah, that's the thing with this game. You just got to keep pressing on until the game really truly denies you of everything.
And not being denied just yet, a 17-second phase 1. Soda is definitely a denier.
Yeah, Soda can can do almost whatever he wants, but hopefully he's gonna do uppercuts, but extra hooks pattern. But at least it was fast.
It was fast, so he could get like a 58 or a 59 here with a good luck in the final phase. So Zallard, hopefully we just need a little bit of luck. Let's keep this going. Come on, Soda, be a bud.
And he is a bud.
All right,
58.
Soda being a pal. I like it. 58. We can keep the run going.
With an extra hook as well.
Yeah, you're not going to see too many submitted times with an extra hook in him, but he did, because Soda can actually delay a variable amount of time after his initial hook, and he just didn't delay very much at all in the entire fight. So Zallard set up nicely here, about 5 seconds ahead going into Bowl 2.
Zallard executing everything there.
Oh,
and goes for the 3-frame punch.
3-framer.
Everyone's going for it today.
They're just all going for it, man. They're like, yeah, 3 frames is free.
Yeah.
I mean, they do enough frame perfect stuff in this game that they're like 3 frames. That's like infinity, you know. All right, so are we going for misdirections? It looks like not yet. Zallard does have a misdirection as PB, so if he doesn't go for any, he's going to lose a little bit of time, but I think he might be okay with that in this particular scenario, because he is on a good pace.
Yeah, if I was in Zallard's situation, I probably wouldn't go for a misdirected gutter.
He looks like he just wants to play it straight, so no shame in that. I think a 128 is just fine. He'll lose a little bit of time, but he's giving himself the opportunity because he is the only player that we're watching tonight that doesn't have an unreal Don 2 fight. His Don 2 fight is one that he can get lucky in. And if he does get lucky, he can shave some seconds off.
That is correct. Hopefully Don praises Zallard with some good luck and many lucky stars.
We need more bless RNG in this chat. Where's it at? Where's it at, man? We need the luck, guys.
No lucky stars so far. Get a few opportunities at the end of the phase to pick up some, but nothing.
Not this time.
The strategy has 9 opportunities for a lucky star, and the lucky stars are 1 in 16. So, about 50% of the time you should get at least one, but maybe the math doesn't work out that way.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't, man. I mean, it seems like it should, but he's still pretty stingy with the lucky stars. Zallard executing very well, though, nonetheless, so he needs Don to not block. So we've seen Don 2 blocking quite a bit tonight. He needs to just get him to throw immediately. First punch. There it is. Okay, so he is now going to get, I think, roughly a 145 or 6. And there it is, 146.
Good. It's a solid time for the lucky guy. No mistakes made.
So
Don 2 didn't troll him too much at the end.
So he's losing some time here, but that's okay because, again, Zallard doesn't have the greatest macho time either. He does have a very good Sandman time, however, so he is going to need some help on Sandman. He's going to need some help on Macho, and then it all comes down to Tyson. But for now, this is a very interesting guard manipulation strategy that he's doing. You can see he's holding up. That's why Sandman, it looks like he's guarding his face and then quickly dodging and then hitting Sandman in the gut because that deals 5 damage, as opposed to if you hit him in the face, it would deal only 4. Which is a little peculiar, but that's just the way this game works sometimes. Strange stuff. So Zallard taking his intentional damage there so that he can take a knockdown a little bit later in the fight and reset Sandman into the triple uppercuts pattern, and he's got a good phase 1 so far.
Yep, this is good. This is 116. That's as fast as it can get. No delays from Sandman. Those delays don't really matter, but the big thing in this fight is after phase 3 where you can lose just 16 seconds from pure bad luck.
And Fiesel has brought in Summoning Salt here because he is past King Hippo, so he's on a bit of a run. Meanwhile, Zallard closing out phase 2 nicely with a 155, so I think he's going to repeat what happened last time we saw a 155, which is just wait till 157, throw your punch, And you got to get knocked down at 159. If you get knocked down any earlier than 159 plus 1 frame, Sandman will not do his triple uppercuts. So that's why you see them kind of delaying. And a long delay, unfortunately, for Zallard. And he looks like he might have messed up the quick dodges there, so he's going to lose a chunk here. This is going to be tough.
Yeah, I think Zallard knew he was going to not get all 20 punches, so
yeah,
he went for his the buffered base punch at the 15th punch, I think.
Wisely went with the backup there, so he loses 8 seconds in this particular fight. However, this is time that he can get back against Super Macho Man. He needs a favorable pattern right now. He'll need to get a 30-second knockdown in phase 1, preferably with 2 stars, which I think we saw. Did we see that from Ouijawee or from Salt earlier?
It was a Ouijawee, I think.
I think it was. These guys are all having such good runs, it's just blurring together at this point. So there's our first star. We're going to throw it, and then you have to get a face punch right here. Zallard does get it, so he's got the good pattern. Is he going to get the other random star? He goes for actually a safer strat. That's interesting.
Went for a safer strat there to pick up an extra star. Allows Zallard to go into phase 2 with 2 stars guaranteed at the cost of 3 seconds. I'm not sure if he might have just saw he wasn't going to get he missed the lucky star, so he decided to, on the fly, go for the extra guaranteed star.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tricky spot because with the amount of time that he's behind and how good his Tyson fight is, I feel like you maybe just have to get lucky in phase 2 there. It's a tough call either way, but he is going to lose some time here. Well, he might be. Yeah, he has a 103, so missing that spin sucker killed him. So I don't believe. Well, no. He could still PB here, but it would take an absolute miracle. He would need to get nearly world record on Tyson. The world record on Tyson is a 206.
205.
Is it 205?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's got U205s on Mr. Dream.
Oh, on Mr. Well, see, this is Tyson, man. This is different animal here. No, they're actually the exact same. Mr. Dream and Mike Tyson have the same programming, so there's actually no difference. It's just a palette swap. But yeah, he's going to need a pretty top tier time right here. So getting those frame perfect hits in. He missed 2, so that might be the end.
Yeah.
And there's the 8-second delay. That's going to kill it.
Zallard needed such a good time. He needed a flawless Tyson, both in RNG and execution.
Meanwhile, Summoning Salt, though, is seeming to maintain his run over here. He's got probably looking at a 46 or 47. He does indeed get a 47, so he's going to be able to continue with things. We'll be looking for another 49 Macho, I think.
49 Soda.
Or, sorry, Soda. 49 Macho would be even better. Because that would be like task quality. So Soda laughing it up a little bit before the fight starts. He knows that he's about to troll you. But gives another 17 for Salt. That's pretty good. Zallard, meanwhile, he's really doing a good job finishing this fight out. He had a little bit of a rough start, but beating Tyson in round 1 is no easy feat, and these guys have done it every single time, with time to spare.
Yeah, Zallard finished at 241. That's a pretty good time, considering he got the 8-second delay.
Great effort there by Zallard. He ends with a 16:20. Really, really good time. He just had a few things go wrong at the end there. Salt, unfortunately, finally getting a hook. But he does still manage a 59. That's 3 times tonight on Pap that we have seen a sub-minute time where Soda threw an extra hook.
Yeah, that's incredible. Very fast patterns from Soda. Even though he likes throwing the hooks, if he gives fast patterns, the fast patterns definitely help a lot.
I mean, it's uncanny. Definitely uncanny to see. So Salt, not in the greatest shape here, though. You can see he's 20 seconds behind. He needs every bit of a miracle and then some. So he's going to be probably going for misdirections here. Hits the 3-framer, no problem. I believe, is he the one that started doing that strat, or did you start that strat? Where did that come from?
Yeah, he found the strat. I was actually using it in high score for like one special bit in the fight when a Bold Bull can get a random refill, and if he gives the big refill, it's worth going for that. And even if I miss it, it's not nothing big, not a big deal. But yeah, Salt really found a good strat to work it into single segment. So it only saves about a second, but you know, Salt says 3 frames is free, so you can go for it.
Yeah, you might as well. I mean, if you can do it, you might as well do it. You need every little bit you can get. Salt did get one misdirection, but he didn't get a second, so he's going to get a regular time of sub 130, 120, 127. That's even a little faster. So saving some frames here and there. Weejui getting denied by King Hippo. That's pretty much the standard. So Salt
Weejui's had a bit of a rough streak on King Hippo. Hasn't got past him in the last few attempts.
Salt does gain a little bit of time there, as a matter of fact. Now he is going to need the Miracle Dawn 2. That is where things always get tricky, is when you need stars from Dawn 2. He doesn't like to give stars. He just doesn't. None so far. Oh, I spoke too soon. We got a lucky star on our hands. But only one, unfortunately. So only one lucky star is not going to do it. Need at least 2.
So hopefully Don gives a good refill here, but he didn't. It's the bad refill. Salt's probably going to get a time in the mid 140s.
It's looking that way. So the bad refill is 50% likely to happen. The low refill is 1 in 8, which I think is like 6.25%. No, sorry, 12.5% likely to happen. And the mid refill is 3 in 8.
Oh, we got a 139. That was, yeah.
That was nice. That was nice. He's going to lose a chunk. He's losing a chunk to his crazy PB, but might as well keep it going, man. I mean, you know, finish this thing out. He's probably seeing if he can get another sub 16. I think he takes great pride in getting those sub 16s.
Yeah. Yeah. Sub 10 minutes into Sandman is an incredible pace. Salt getting blocked on the first punch.
There is a backup for that, fortunately. So he is okay, but he's probably going to get somewhere between a 119 and a 121 for the first phase. But like we've talked about, you know, Mr. Sandman, you can't really do anything to progress the fight until 159 anyway, so a lot of times this kind of comes out in the wash. Like, he could still get a 220 in this particular scenario if he gets a 119 here, which he did.
Yeah.
So
basically that rule that you have to get knocked down at 159 plus 1 frame to get him to do the triple uppercuts again. I mean, if your phaser 1 and 2 are really fast, you typically have to wait a little bit before taking that intentional knockdown, which kind of mitigates your time gain earlier on. Salt executing that triple quick dodge well.
And he's on 155. So let's see. Let's see how he plays it. So far, we've seen our players just wait till 157, but
an 8 count.
8 count's always
still a disaster. Yeah, Sandman likes giving big refill on 8 count, and there it is.
There is the disaster. The disaster is 25% likely to happen, folks. 1 in 4 chance, and we see it there. So unfortunately, that big refill is going to mean that no matter what happened for the rest of the fight, Salt was going to lose a big chunk of time. And that is going to put an end to his world record hopes, but he could maybe still get a sub 16 here. I think it might be possible.
Sub 16, yeah. He would need a pretty good march on Tyson, but that's well within his range.
Weejui going to be able to take another crack at King Hippo here. I think all of our players have gotten past King Hippo at least twice, I would say.
Yes, I'd say that. Everyone's had at least a few good runs tonight,
Yeah,
getting deep into the world circuit.
which is really nice to see because it is hard to get runs deep in this game. I mean, there's just so many luck factors that can deny you, and King Hippo and Soda being the two biggest.
Yep. Salt getting two
Salt.
bad patterns on Macho.
Salt says no more.
And then taking a hit and then decides to reset, not even finish the run.
Yeah, no, he was done with that. No, I don't blame him. Once things go that far with Matcha, you just say, okay, we're done. So anyhow, I did see somebody asking in chat if there have been other Chase for the Records. There have been. There's, I believe, a list of them here. Hold on, just give me a moment. I think there's a bot command I can do.
Ouija gets a quick open, which is very welcome. Another open.
There we go. There's the list of them. Yeah, we've had Chase for the Record for Mega Man, Super Mario World, Sonic Adventure 2, I believe we had, Zelda, Legend of Zelda for NES, Mega Man X2, Batman for NES. Yeah, we've had a lot of games. I mean, basically this show is all about games that have a very high level of competition with multiple players, because that's one of the greatest things that you can see in speedrunning is when there's a game that has, several players that are capable of world record kind of all pushing each other to get the record further and further and further. And, we see it multiple times a year in various games, and it's always exciting to watch. So it's nice to see these guys going for it. There is a new strategy on Piston Honda 1, which is essentially what has kind of made these guys even consider going after this record, because this one is pretty darn optimized. But, we can see that Zallard has successfully gotten on a good pace here. He's already 5 seconds ahead of the world record, and he's going to get a crack at King Hippo to see if he can keep this run going.
Ouija is electing to do some Tyson practice. It's been a while since he's gotten to Tyson, so he's want to stay fresh on him for the eventual run that will get there.
Yes, indeed. We're going to be going probably for about another 40 minutes or so. So these guys do have time to get in a few more runs. But after that, we're going to be switching over because there's a lot of content on speed gaming. If you don't follow this channel, I recommend you do so immediately. This channel has not only Chase for the Record, but tons and tons of tournament action. So, if you're interested in competitive speedrunning, this is the place to see it. Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2. You want to follow both of those channels. There's a lot of tournaments going on. If you want to participate, a lot of them are beginner friendly, where you can kind of learn a game and get involved, and it's a good way to break into the community. The community members are generally very friendly and helpful in terms of learning a game and so on. So it's a great way to start out. So we see that Summoning Salt has now made it past Honda, and he'll be on world record pace.
Yeah, Salt gaining a lot of time on world record there with the new Honda 1 strat. It's as random as it is, it's less consistent than the old strat, but it pretty much always gives you at least a 4-second time gain, which with a world record so optimized, it's every second matters, every frame matters.
It is that kind of game. And, as well as following Speed Game, you should definitely also follow the runners. Summoning Salt, Ouija, and Zallard all playing this game and other games. They all are pretty good at a number of speed games. These guys are experienced, and Punch-Out is definitely something you'll see, but there's other fun retro games that you'll see on these guys' channels. And Summoning Salt, of course, does make those wonderful videos about world record progression. He recently did one on Portal 2, and he's done one, of course, for this game, Super Metroid, Super Mario 64, all kinds of fun stuff. So you'll want to check these guys out. Their Twitch names are just as they are listed on the screen there. And I think you can follow them from the chat there. We have their Twitch channels listed.
Summoning Soul, getting another opportunity at King Hippo here. Hopefully get another run past him.
Yeah, I think we're going to be able to see a few more runs past Hippo, and then we are going to have to wrap it up. But hopefully this will be one of them. Salt already on a good pace. I don't think we've seen him get a really amazing Hippo yet. He's kind of had like mediocre Hippos so far, and Hippo has pretty much denied him on this attempt. So
yeah,
this one going to be a reset.
Ducking in frustration.
Yeah,
Hippo not cooperating.
I mean, you got to do something, man. You know, this guy is definitely one of the most frustrating aspects of this run. And you know, for those of you that want to learn this speed run, there are tutorials out there that make it pretty easy to pick up. And the game, once you get started, I mean, what would you say about learning it? I mean, you learned it more recently, so what was your experience like?
Learning the game is, I mean, it did take a lot of time, a lot of practice. I learned it on an emulator, so I could do it with save states. But yeah, I pretty much practiced every single fight, like for about a year before I did any sort of runs until I got like super comfortable at it. And at this point, I couldn't even round one Tyson. I don't even think I could beat Tyson. I had like good times on every fight, but I couldn't even beat Tyson just because of emulator being such a poor platform to play this game on because of input delay. Yeah, any sort of input delay is definitely puts you at a huge disadvantage just because you're limited reaction time.
Yeah, it makes it pretty tricky, but I think it's actually amazing that you're able to. Sandman really is very tough on emulator as well, so I'm amazed that you were able to.
Yeah, I had to use some pseudo buffers on Sandman. There was no way I was dodging the Dreamland Express with my reaction time.
Yeah, I don't think dodging Dreamland Express is possible in that kind of scenario. Input lag in this game are not friends. So if you're playing this game, ideally you want to be playing it on a CRT television with an original NES console. That is the proper way to play it that will give you the least amount of headaches when you're playing it. So Zallard 1 about to get his opportunity to fight our good friend King Hippo and see if he can get yet another run going. Ouija Wee doing a good job here in phase 1 against Honda. Let's see if he can manage to get these last face punches in. Looks good. He's got a 27. That's a really fast knockdown.
And Honda getting up on the 1 count. Yeah, for anyone that's wondering why we can knock them down straight away, even though they get a maximum health refill, 1 count, when they get up on a 1 count, they're still like groggy, they can't really like see straight, and you knock them, hit them with 1 star punch and they go straight back down to the mat.
Straight back down.
Yep, so there's no random 1 counts in the game, but we know how to manip as many as we can to get the best times possible.
That is true. The other thing about a 1 count is it does typically give the boxer full HP. As we see Zallard getting a 55, so this is questionable. Back in the day, this would be a no-brainer to continue, but I think Zallard is probably going to continue on, but definitely not the King Hippo fight that you want. But it's one that you're kind of like, all right.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm having stream issues again.
Why don't we both give it a reset as Zallard fights Great Tiger, because obviously nothing much ever happens there. So yeah, we can see Zallard getting in his stars, and those stars are all 100% guaranteed. Zallard just making it look easy and using some buffers there to set up that final star punch, which has to be delivered at a very precise moment in order to deal maximum damage and get a knockdown. Double 1 count incoming, and Zallard will have himself a nice low 48, and he'll be able to move on to Bald Bull 1.
Alright, I'm back.
Alright, welcome back. You didn't miss much. Zallard got a 48 on Great Tiger as predicted.
Yeah. Time fluctuations on the Great Tiger are very minimal, just because the fight is the same every time. There's no randomness, and we do the same strat every single time.
Yeah, not a whole lot of randomness in that particular scenario. So, Ouija Wee gonna take his turn here on King Hippo. And Hippo not being quite aggressive as we would like, but maybe one more would be a good time. Maybe. Okay, looks like he's gonna get a 50x as well. 51, so he did a little better than Zallard, so he may go ahead and keep this one going. Zallard getting some rolling jabs here. Let's see if he can get this 45. He does. Nice delayed punch there at the end of phase 2. He's going to have 3 stars. Let's see. 3 count? No. 5 count? Yes. No. Denied. So we know we're getting the bad refill here on this 8 count, unfortunately.
Salt's about to tackle the Hippo.
And if Salt manages to get past Hippo, that could be the first time that we have all 3 of our players past King Hippo. Is that even possible? Is it possible that 3 people in the world could be past King Hippo at the same time? I don't know if that's...
I don't think so. All the consoles collaborate, and they know they can't give us all too much good luck.
Salt didn't even reset. He straight up power cycled, man. He's like, enough. we're getting rid of these RAM values. We're going with something else. So Zallard moves on. This, again, as you guys have seen, is his big opportunity to gain a huge chunk of time. So even though it looks like he's very, very far behind, he has a 102.99 Honda 2. He can beat that by a good margin. Meanwhile, Ouija Wee is going to keep pace there as he gets past Great Tiger. So let's see if these guys can get one more run in here. We have about 30 minutes left.
Zelda executing phase 1 well.
Looking good.
The thing with phase 1 is actually you can't play, if you play it too fast it doesn't work, and
if you play
kind
it
of
too
have to
slow,
be right in the sweet spot. So and the whole thing with that is one of the star punches that lands into Piston Honda's wiggling eyebrows, it has to deal the maximum damage, and if it's too early it doesn't deal maximum, and if it's too late it doesn't deal maximum. It's going to be just right. So
Zallard got the worst luck possible here. He got 0 random stars and the bad refill, which puts him in a bad situation for phase 3, but he does execute, and he still is going to save 10 seconds because he gets a 52. So that's unlucky though, man. I mean, I think it's like a 1 in 8 chance that happens, or maybe even 1 in 16. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's 1 in 8 for the worst luck to occur, which is what Zallard just got.
And we see Ouija Wee getting a 106, which is nice. That'll keep him on a decent pace there. Zallard going to have to hope for some help from Soda Popinski, which is not the guy you want to be hoping for help from, because he does things like that, delaying and giving you a 21.
Salt may be correcting me. Can't do P1 too fast. I'm pretty sure you can.
Wait, what was he correcting?
He says you can't do P1 too fast with the strap, but I think you can. I'll test it later and check.
I think you can, yeah. I don't know, man. We have some disagreement amongst the experts here. We're gonna have to get to the bottom of this. This game's really deep, guys. It looks like it's just a simple boxing game where you just dodge and punch, but really a lot more than that. And Zallard having a very unfortunate accident against Soda Popinski there is going to take a reset. So he is going to be getting to the bottom of his attempts for the evening. I think he can probably get in at least one more past Hippo. And then that's going to do it for him. Meanwhile, a nice phase 1 by Ouija Wee. Definitely wasn't too fast. Or too slow. So if you guys are wondering why Soda dodged that, most of the boxers can actually dodge star punches after you've hit them with a certain amount of them. Oh no! A tragic turn of events. Ouija Wee getting punched in phase 2 there, so he is actually going to have to wait till the 1 minute mark to get his final knockdown on Honda 2, and that is going to put him in a bad situation.
Yeah,
so,
taking a hit means Honda won't get up on a 1 count.
And he's even going to get a 101 because he tried to get fancy there with the star punch, and that cost a little bit of extra time. So I don't know how recoverable this is from this point for Weejawee. He may consider resetting. I guess he's going to press on and see what happens with Soda. There's really no harm, I guess. Yeah, once you're in World Circuit, you really have to have something bad happen to reset, I guess.
Yeah. There's just a lot of randomness in the World Circuit and in the game in general. So you either hope for good luck later, or you just reset and hope to get to that point, but on a better pace.
So an 18 is certainly acceptable. That's a good phase 1 there. And not so much this time. We see a hook. Soda is not going to be giving a sub-minute time here. Although we may end up finishing out anyway. I think I'm hoping he'll get at least one more attempt in here. Generally, this game takes about 20 minutes to complete from start to finish. So at some point, we're going to have to tell these guys, it's the last round of attempts. That's going to do it for us tonight. But as I mentioned earlier, you want to follow the runners so that you can continue to track their progress on their chase for this particular world record. It is one that it could happen tonight, it could happen tomorrow, it could happen 2 years from now. I mean, this is such a volatile game that you really don't know. So you want to be there watching when it does happen, though.
That is exactly right. Weeger executing phase 1 very well. Goes for the 3. Everyone is going for this 3-frame punch, making it look easy.
They're all doing it, man. Summoning Salt.
Probably because it is easy.
Yeah, I guess we'll just both have to start, doing it now. I'm thinking of getting back to this game. I played it a little bit. I did recently play it in a live event, Smash the Record just this past weekend. So I had some fun playing it. And I don't have the elusive sub 16. I'm one of the few runners that's done this game for a really long time that doesn't have it, because I never got a PB when they had the new Honda One Strat, obviously, because that's pretty recent. And I think my current PB, which is like a 1602, is just has a really, really bad non-flamenco too. I think it's got like a 156 or some such thing, which is just terrible.
Yeah.
So,
that wasn't even your fault. That was dumb too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I could tell you that there's a number of players in the community that have had perfect runs with 0 execution errors in the entire run, and they've been like probably close to 17 minutes just because the RNG is not good. Not counting Tyson per se, I think, excluding like perfect runs, excluding Tyson.
Yeah.
Like you might miss a frame perfect punch or two, but that's as long as you have a perfect phase 1, I think from there then you can kind of exclude. So 47 from Weejawee, he's got a star. That's what you want to see. And he does have that time to gain at the end of the run, but he is going to lose time in this fight. So he's kind of in a weird situation. And that was not the refill he was looking for.
So 120, we should get 3. I think he might get 3 gut punches here.
And he did. And he got an immediate uppercut, so he's going to get a 140, which is a good time, but unfortunately for him, he's up against a 131 because he had really great luck in his PB. So he's going to lose a little bit of time here. No reason to stop, though. If you've come this far, you just keep going. Meanwhile, Zelda with a 41 hippo. He's back in it.
41 is the second best luck you can get on him. Only one non-open mouth punch. Would you be hitting these gut punches on the rolling jabs? Very difficult.
Yeah, it's tough because you're holding up, and you Sandman's punches come out really quick, so you have to have a pretty good rhythm going so that you can make sure you dodge in time. But if you dodge too early and let go of up, then he'll block your gut punch. So the timing is a bit tricky.
Yeah, that's one of the problems I have a lot on Sandman, is I let go of up too early, and that drops his gloves, and then I can't. It's impossible to hit a gut punch, and he just blocks.
So this game, a lot of nuance with the guard manipulation. Remember, when you press up and punch, that's when you'll punch at the opponent's face. So if you're holding up, typically opponent will guard their face, and then that can sometimes allow you to, quickly let go of up and then punch them in the gut while they're still blocking their face, or vice versa. If they're guarding their face, you can let go of up, and then as soon as they start dropping their gloves, you might be able to get in a couple face punches. So here we have a 154.
And that might spell disaster.
That could be a problem. And it is. Wow, we have seen, it has been brutal tonight with the 8 counts on Sandman. They have just always yielded the bad refill. An 8 count on Sandman isn't a guaranteed bad refill, but unfortunately tonight it has been pretty much a death sentence for these guys' runs, unfortunately. So Zallard one is going to have to hopefully get a good bull 1 fight here to keep his run going. Weejuwee going to finish things out, but he's losing a big chunk.
Zelda going into phase, I don't know what, that was the interesting strategy. I think he might have going into phase 2 with phase 3 with 2 stars after getting rolling jabs.
So let's see if he's going to go. He's going for it again, and this time he couldn't hit it. He was again going for that frame perfect punch. You can't blame him. I mean, he knew that he wanted to get himself on a good pace there, but he did have a 41 hippo, so it's kind of like, I don't know, man. It's with a 41 hippo, I think you can accept a little bit of time loss, but especially with it going into his piston Honda 2, he could have probably done that. So I think Zallard could probably get one more reset in here if he really wanted to. I think he has enough time to do that, but it looks like he's going to continue.
Oh, he's at 15 behind, I think. He can gain 15 seconds on Honda.
He might think that this is his last run, so
maybe.
I'm gonna go ahead. He's asking if he should reset. I'm gonna tell him to give it one more go. I think he's okay to get one more reset in there and see if he can get past King Hippo.
Meanwhile, Solder's got past Hippo.
Oh, well, Summoning Salt on another run here. So I think for Summoning Salt, this is likely to be his last run of the night, because we are going to stop in roughly within the next 20 minutes or so. We have more action to bring you on Speed Gaming. It's non-stop action on this channel. Follow this channel. It's running all the time. And if it's not, Speed Gaming 2 is on. All your competitive speedrunning needs. So the dream fight for Weejuwee. Let's see if he can close things out with a nice Tyson fight. It's always a good feeling when you get a good fight at the end, right?
Good to execute well on Tyson, even if you can't PB on him. He's definitely the hardest fight by far in this game.
I mean, it's almost like a different game at the point when you get to Tyson. It's just so hard.
Yeah. I like to consider the game in 2 segments. Everyone and then Tyson. You want to get as good of a run as you can up to Tyson and then do a good Tyson.
Well, we see a 102, which means that there's a good possibility of Tyson throwing 5 uppercuts. If you can hit all 5 perfectly, you'll deal 50 damage. Tyson going to get up with a 56 refill. That's guaranteed here, so you can get a pretty fast phase 2. Salt did not get a very fast phase 2 on Bull, unfortunately, so he is going to be hoping for a good refill here. Not getting one. Nice phase 2 though by Weejuwee, so he's going to close this thing out.
Got the 5 uppercuts, which is very good. 5 uppercuts is much better than 4 uppercuts, in my opinion.
And looks like he's going to have a... Oh, he got blocked once. I got ahead of myself. Still a nice phase 3 though. So he's still gaining time, so he still gained 5 seconds at the end there. Nice job finishing it out. 234 on Tyson. That's good stuff. Just beating Tyson in round 1 is really, really difficult. anybody that wants to try it, I would recommend looking at a tutorial on how to do it. It's not easy as these guys make it out to be. They make it look very easy. I don't think anybody's gone to round 2 on Tyson tonight.
Yeah. The theory behind the round 1 is pretty simple to understand, but executing it is no easy feat.
No, not at all. So summoning Salt is again in the World Circuit. He is going to have to do this tricky manipulation. Maybe he's going to try to go really fast. I hope he doesn't go too fast after all that talking that you after you told him.
I'm going to check out
that. I'm
pretty sure you can go too fast, but I'll double check that. So
he did get a random star, which is nice. And doing a bit of a different strat there. Wow, he's getting flashy with it, man. Summoning Salt showing off now.
Went for a Buffalo Smack stage star. Those are so hard to do. I don't think I've ever done one. I don't even think I've attempted one. It's that hard.
Man, I wish I could explain how impressive that is, you guys, but it's just on another level what he did just now. It's really, really incredible that he can just pull that out in a run. Be like, I feel like doing this crazy strat that it should be impossible. Oh, look, I got it. Soda will surely punish him for such swag. He will not allow it.
Hopefully Soda is merciful this run.
I really hope he is. I think even if he's not, Salt probably wants to get in one more sub 16 if he can, just to show his dominance over this game.
Salt saying that was a mistake in chat.
Spoilers. Salt giving the spoilers. Well, I don't know what the mistake was now because he just got a 50.
I think maybe
he
went. He might have gone for it, but I don't know if it dealt max damage. It was gonna land. It was the first punch to the face, so it would have hit anyway.
Oh, okay.
So right. Yeah, I don't know if it did max damage. I think he got the low refill, so it still worked out in the end.
Well, whatever he did, it was fucking cool. Okay, it was good. It was good. Don't ever question summoning Salt, even when he questions himself. All right, nice job there, getting that 37 phase 1 on Bull 2.
Yeah, Bull. I don't know if we mentioned this, but Bull 2 is the only guy who gets up on a 9 count. And when a fighter gets up on a 9 count, you can only knock them down with star punches.
Yeah, he has a pretty unique programming. I mean, kind of all the boxers do. Everything's a little different, you know. That's one of the reasons this game's so great, and I feel like it's stood the test of time, is there's just, you know, there's a lot of uniqueness to the boxers. I mean, even though they used palette swaps to make it so that they could have this many boxers in the game with the limitations on the memory of the NES, and it's really just a brilliantly programmed game. And you can tell that different people worked on different fighters just because of how wildly different they are from, like, not only just a look and feel perspective, but also from like a programming perspective. Some of the randomness on them, like Don too, you know, he just has this wild randomness of, you know, every other fighter in the game, it's like worst case scenario, you can get like a star 25% of the time, but with him, they're just like, let's make it 1 in 16.
Yeah.
Let's make it 6.25% of the time, likely. And apparently there wasn't a lot of oversight. Oh, well, we have an early random star here. This could get interesting. Oh no, Salt with the missed punch.
Oh,
that's a killer.
Yeah, that's going to cost time. I think, I don't know what sort of time we're going to look at, what sort of time he can get from here, but he still did get that lucky star. So
he did get a bad refill though, so I think that's going to probably mean, this is done. So With
Yeah.
Don too, the thing is that he does like a very slight delay between his punches there, and it can be variable actually. So it doesn't happen often, but there are times that he can do a shorter or longer delay before he punches. And I think Salt just got caught in one of those rare instances where he did a longer delay, and so he was able to block Salt's punch, and that killed it. Meanwhile, Ouija Wee with a 56 on Hippo, he might be the last run of the night, I think. The last run that can continue. Zallard is doing some Tyson attempts, it looks like, because he cannot do another full game attempt.
Yeah, that's what I like to do at the end of a stream, is just do a few Tyson IO attempts.
So Salt going to go ahead and finish out anyway. Why not? Might as well finish your run, you know? It's great to see, though, that all the runners finished a very solid run, at least one tonight. We had 2 sub-16s, right? We had a sub-16 by Summoning Salt, and we had a sub-16 by Ouija Wee, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's correct.
Not easy to accomplish at all.
Salt sub 16 was incredible. It was 15:31. That's probably, I think that's the 3rd or 4th best run ever executed.
Yeah, that one was pretty unreal. I mean, you could tell that like he may have even had like a little bit of nerves going into the end. I think it was Macho that gave him trouble at the end.
Yeah, I think there was a tiny error on Macho.
Yeah, and that's all it takes. Like, you have to be perfect in this game. That's one thing about this game, is there's just almost zero margin for error. Like any small mistake can just cost too much time, and it's just like runs over. Whereas with a lot of games, you know, you can make a small mistake and it's like maybe you lose a second or two and you can press on, but this game punishes the mistakes pretty hard.
Yeah. Even if the mistake can like put you in a situation that you've not familiar with, and that can really snowball into more mistakes, and that can end the run.
Yeah, one mistake definitely leads to more. It's not a rabbit hole you want to go down. And we see Zallard. What was that time he just got there? I can't see it. I can't see it very well.
It's the second knockdown, I think.
Okay.
Or first knockdown.
And a nice 104 from Ouija Wee. I think that should gain him a little time against his PB.
104 is definitely a good bull one time. Salt doing a Macho IL attempt, but no luck.
I think 104 might be the best bull we've seen tonight. Or was there a 103?
I think Salt got a 103 tonight. Like a mid 103. We might have had the same luck as a Ouija, but Salt likes to cut all his dodges super tight. That's the difference between a 104 and a 103 sometimes.
Ah, makes sense. So Summoning Salt also going to go into Tyson attempt mode, as he has done. 27 for Ouija Wee in phase 1. 2 stars. That means he does not have to worry about RNG, aka luck, for the rest of this fight. He's just got to focus on his execution and make sure that he gets those punches in, which he does. A 41, very nice. That means he is set up nicely for a high 44 or a low 45. As long as he can land this final star punch, and he does. Forgive me, that was actually a 46. I guess that was a very high 41.
Summoning Salt executing a perfect Tyson phase 1, 57.
Oh yeah. 57 means you can actually get a perfect fight. because Tyson will typically throw 6 uppercuts in phase 2, and you can knock him down. Unfortunately, Salt getting blocked there means he is not going to get the phase 2 knockdown by 130. But he is going to get 135, which could lead to a very, very good time. 21 seconds on phase 1 for Weejuwee. That's acceptable. That is an acceptable time from Soda Popinski. You just don't want to see hooks.
I
No
think
hooks.
Zelda's got a 212 Tyson from someone in chat pointing that out, but I can't
Wow.
see. I can't see.
Yeah, I
the
can't
time
see. I can't
'cause
see the clock on Zallers.
too small.
The screen's too small. We couldn't account for that ahead of time. We didn't think about being able to see the clock in that small box, but want to be able to showcase all our players. Weejuwee getting a 101, so he is going to be able to press onward here. 101, a little bit worse than what you would hope to see, but it's still better than seeing hooks thrown for the most part. And you can see even the speed with which these guys put the passwords in is impressive.
Years of muscle memory and retrying the Tyson fight over and over.
Oh yeah. So there's the 3-framer. Thankfully, nobody missed it tonight. We can say that everybody was perfect on the 3-frame dodge against Bull 2 tonight.
Yeah, strats that you and I are both too scared to go for.
We're gonna have to do it now, man. We're gonna have to do it. No excuses. No. Oh no. We not. Oh, he did finally get a misdirection there. Okay, but I think it was a little too late. Yeah. He took too many blocks there, unfortunately. So once again, everybody, this is Chase for the Record, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out edition, and he does get a misdirection there. This is our last run of the night, everyone. There's going to be more action on Speed Gaming afterwards, but we want to thank all our players, Zallard1, Summoning Salt, and Weejuwee for doing such a great job playing this game. We saw some excellent runs tonight. Definitely saw a lot of runs on world record pace, which is the whole idea of the show, is that you get to see the excitement of a lot of record run paces without having to endure as many resets, because we can focus on whoever's doing well. So follow these guys. They are all very, very good runners. And I would like to say that we do have another episode of Chase for the Record coming up, and it's a game you might have heard of. It's called Super Mario Brothers. Have you heard of that one, then, Pat?
Oh, I have heard of it.
Well, we're going to have none other than Darbian, Andrew G, Some Wes, and Cosmic D will all be going for the any percent record, which is highly contested among those guys. I think they all have like 456 currently, some variation thereof. I believe the current record is tied between Cosmic D and Darbian. They both have the exact same time to the frame. So those guys are going to be coming on, and we're going to have some good commentators, I've heard, as well. So you guys will enjoy that for sure. We don't have a date locked down for that 100% just yet, so stay tuned. Make sure you follow Speed Gaming. Follow them on Twitter as well. I believe it's Speed Gaming Show, and then you'll be able to find out about the announcements of the date for that stream. So nice job there by Weejuwee.
Weejuwee is in within if he gets a good Sandman and Macho, he can get a PB there. He's got a lot of time to save on Tyson, but he just needs to not lose it on Sandman and Macho.
So Weejuwee's still keeping hope alive here, man. This stream is still exciting till the very, very end. And taking some intentional damage there. Remember, he does want to get knocked down after he gets his 2 knockdowns to reset the triple uppercuts pattern from Sandman so he can deal the most damage possible and get him down, hopefully around the 220 mark. That's what we're looking for.
That's a good phase 1. 117.
117 is good stuff. So what we really need, guys, is we need to not have the big refill in phase 3. That has doomed a lot of runs tonight for these runners, and I've lost a lot of runs to it myself. MPAP, I'm sure you've lost runs to it. It's really a painful feeling when you lose your run to that refill.
My old PB was 16:00.07, and I had a bad refill, bad delay on phase 3.
Oh.
Man.
So it looks like Wee had gone a little bit too early on one of his punches, so he had to do an extra punch at the end of the phase there, so he's going to end up getting a 202 knockdown there instead of a 159. He can still get a 223 if he gets good luck here. He did not get the bad refill, thank goodness. And he does get a fast pattern, so he is going to lose some time in this fight, but not too much. He is not out of it, but he didn't get the fastest uppercuts there, so 227. He's going to lose a little more time, unfortunately.
Dodges won't. You got to keep those dodges really tight on the triple uppercuts to get all the punches in.
So a 227.61.
It's only 13 seconds.
Zelda's one punch away from a perfect fight, he says.
Yeah, I saw that as well. I can't actually see.
So it looks
the timer.
Yeah, I can't. I'm kind of focused on Wee, man, because he's still got a chance to get a personal best here. He's going to need some help from Macho. If he doesn't get it, he's going to need at least a decent pattern. Oh, come on, recover, man, do something. I think he got a little too nervous there. It's done. He had a bad Macho. Macho was just not having it. He really didn't give very many good fights tonight. Macho is another pretty luck-based fight. You know, they all kind of happen at the end here. You got all these luck-based fights.
Yeah. Macho traditionally isn't seen as like a huge random factor in the game, but he can definitely... I mean, more often than not tonight, he's just been a jerk with his pattern.
I think he's killed like at least 3 runs tonight, I want to say.
Yeah. At least.
Macho the run killer. Well, that is going to end our last round. I think Wee's going to go ahead and finish it out just for the heck of it. But great job. Great job by all the runners. And I had fun tonight. How about you, man?
I definitely had a lot of fun. It's good watching these top level runners do attempts for a good 3 hours. And the race earlier, the single segment race.
Yeah, we had a great race early on there. So I'm froze up here. I'm not sure. Are you still seeing the action?
No, I'm froze up as well.
Okay. I think we may be coming to the end of the stream then. In that case,
yeah,
that may be the way of saying we're done here. So I'm sure Feez will let us know, and he'll probably let us know what is coming up next because there's always more action on speed gaming. So you'll want to stick around. Make sure you follow the channel. And Pap, it's been a pleasure, man. I want to thank you for joining me, especially on short notice to come and commentate this. But it looks like we're going to have some Super Metroid action coming up here shortly. Zallard just got a 214. He is really just putting a beat down on Tyson, it looks like. I don't know if I'm behind what the stream is.
Yeah, not sure either. But yeah, 214 is incredibly tough to get. That's at least 20 frame perfect inputs.
Yeah, Zallard is letting that finish out while Wee is finishing out his run, hopefully to get a final round 1 victory against Tyson before we call it a night here. And Summoning Salt getting in one last Tyson attempt as well. And Wee is in good shape here, so if you get Tyson down for the second time under 2 minutes, you're pretty good, but going for a lot of frame perfect inputs at the end of the fight, if you get blocked, that can cause some problems. So it's going to be a little tight for him here. He gets that first one via a buffer. Second, third, gets blocked, gets the fourth. If you get 8 of them, you're perfect. He's going to need a little bit of help here. Okay, he got some nice frame perfect hits at the end there. 247, Tyson's down in round 1. And that is our final run of the night from Ouija. Great job by all the runners once again. Please be sure to follow them. And follow MPAP too. MPAP, where can they follow your channel?
Yeah, thanks, Sinister. Yeah, if you want to see high score attempts, I'm currently doing high score attempts of this game. It's pretty brutal. It's getting more brutal the more optimized it gets, but hopefully we're gonna get some more record attempts soon.
And do you think you'll ever return to single segment at some point?
Yes, I do. After a few other projects I want to do, I'm probably going to go for at least a 1540 or maybe a high 1530 in single segment. I don't think I'm going to go insane trying to beat the world record. That's there's just too much luck you need.
It's a lot. It's a lot to handle. But once again, thank you everybody for watching. Stay tuned. We're going to have some Super Metroid action here up next. Fiesel's going to fix that up for you, and have yourselves a great night.
Thanks for watching, everyone.